Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, the music is pretty loud in this.
Yes, it's very loud.
How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good, man.
Good, good. Oh yeah, I should set up my tablet.
Could you make our windows a little bit smaller? They seem really big.
What'd you say? Sorry.
The windows seem really big with our faces.
Oh, I can make them smaller.
Yeah.
How's that? A little more modest?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good.
Not quite as arrogant.
All right. Let me get the thing set up here. So we're gonna do some Street Fighter tonight. I think Leslie, you might do some XCOM, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Wow. And do you have like backstories on all of your guys and stuff? Are you one of those XCOM players?
No, I'm not one of those XCOM players. Well, actually, I just started a new game, so I don't have any deep connection with any of them yet.
This could be the time that you RP the whole way through, though. You have the opportunity to do that.
Yeah, we can name them after some of our listeners.
All right. Let's see. Speaking of our listeners, I was watching One Piece earlier today, and I gotta say, One Piece is really good.
Oh, is
Shout
it?
out to Artie Fissy. I like One Piece. It's got like, I mean, look, if you like Carl Barks or sort of like, it's exactly the kind of shit that you don't like. Like, it's not badass. It's like kind of for kids, but like, I like all that like Carl Barks like Disney comics stuff, and it kind of reminds me of that. It's like adventure comics. It's like exactly the kind of shit that you hate. But speaking of which,
Yeah, exactly.
how have you been doing in Mario Odyssey there?
Hey, it's okay. I'm enjoying it. It's I still, have my same critiques of it. Like aesthetically, I don't really feel like it holds up to like Super Mario 3 or Super
Okay.
Mario World or Yoshi's Island. So it's very difficult to look at it and see why it's fun or enjoyable. But collecting those moons is is pretty fun.
It's pretty satisfying.
Yeah, it's satisfying collecting those moons, but I feel like just the art design of it, I don't know really what it is, but it just took like a wrong turn somewhere. But the gameplay is pretty okay. I feel like throwing the cap, like I wish there was like a little more options with it. I wish it wasn't so focused on throwing the cap. I wish that was just one of many things that Mario
You could do with the hat. If it wasn't so solely hat focused, you'd be happier.
Yes. Like that's what I expected. I thought you would get a Tanuki suit or whatever or something like that.
I guess that
But
is
that's
true.
not-
Like, there's just the one power up, but that suit, like that hat, like is every power up though. Like that just makes all the enemies into power ups.
Yeah, I don't feel that too much. Like because it's so like you have to throw your hat on this enemy to get past this particular part in the level. It's not like you can't carry the tank all the way with you through the level like you could if you got a fire flower or something like that. So I felt like it's still pretty fun, but it's like so segmented in a certain way that doesn't feel as adventurous as Super Mario World does.
Did you ever play Mario 3D World?
No, I never played that one. I think the last one I played was Mario 64.
I bet. Well, I mean, okay, that's just insane to begin with. That's the last Mario game.
That's the
you've
last
ever
Mario that
played.
actually happened, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, I mean, no, not. I mean, you can't really hold that opinion anymore because now you've seen the rich, history of the Brutals and what's happened
Sir,
in
it's
the
been
Mario
a strange
universe
year.
since.
I do not. I don't necessarily believe that Mario fighting Bowser to stop him from having one. And what is the plot of this game? It's just like you trying
Well,
to
what's the
stop
plot of every
Mario
Mario?
from being. It's like you trying to stop Mario from being cucked. And like the princess, doesn't really seem to have a strong opinion about it. Like,
Well,
she
I mean,
doesn't.
not to spoil anything, but you better wait till you get to the end of the game before you talk too much about this. About
Jeez.
the princess's agency.
Oh my
As far
god.
as all that's
I'm not
concerned.
worried about her agency. It seems like she's fine with Marion Bowser as far as I'm concerned.
It does, like, in the cutscene, seem like she's just like there, like down to marry him.
Yeah.
Maybe I should tweet this out from the account.
Tweet it out from mine. I was in Washington Post the other day. I didn't even know it.
Oh, really? What
I
for?
just because my anti-robot tweet when I told San Francisco to rise up and defeat their mellow oppressors.
Well, hopefully those retweets can turn into direct action happening in the streets of San Francisco.
Actually, the SPCA was so embarrassed that they stopped using it. So yeah, so it worked.
Are you doing XCOM 2?
Yeah, it would be XCOM 2 with the expansion pack. So I actually haven't played the expansion pack, so you might see like a complete fail squad wipe, XCOM wipe on this run because
you might want to look into, now that you have the Switch, the Proud Switch owner. You
I
might want
know
to look
what you're about
into,
to say.
yeah, you might want to look into Mario X Rabbids.
I am looking into it.
It's like actually really good. It is a really good game.
I've heard it's good, but it doesn't have the replay value that XCOM does. So I'll probably wait until it's on sale for $40 now, but it's probably more in the 20-30 range of actual value. I will say I do have one criticism of the Switch is like the little cartridges suck. Like I only want to get like digital games for it because I know it's so easy to lose one of those things or break the nub on one of them or something.
I have a little like child's carrying case is how I get around that. Is I have a little thing that has little like plastic containers for all of them, and it's like clearly made to like fit into like a lunchbox or a child's backpack. Hold on, I'm just putting together this tweet here.
But I'll keep giving my Switch hot takes. What's the name of the Link game? Game?
Breath of the Wild.
Breath of the Wild, pretty good. But there's a lot. I think anybody who gave this one like a 10 out of 10 says one of the greatest games of all time is completely ridiculous. I'm sorry.
I mean,
like,
I think somehow reviews are broken in that like everything is now like one of the greatest of all time. Like I think maybe reviewers should not be allowed to say that anything is the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Like they should be like a 180-day moratorium on like release date to saying it's the best that there ever was. So I'd agree with you on that, but only in that reviewers have lost their minds somehow.
Yeah, because there's a lot of parts of the game that are actually kind of bad. Like I think the combat isn't really good. It's certainly not as good as a game it was compared to a lot, which was the Aloy game.
Horizon Zero
Dawn.
Rise of the Alien Dawn.
Yeah. There's no comparison between the combat in this game and combat in that game whatsoever. Like Horizon Zero Dawn is much better. Zelda is okay. It's not terrible except for your weapons breaking all the time, and that stuff.
The weapons are annoying, but that is, I don't know. There's something about they did a very good job of figuring out how to break apart the Zelda thing into sort of like bite-sized pieces. Like that's the thing I've been liking about the Switch so far is that it really is like the best games for it really are handheld games. Like that they've sort of designed, like Peace Walker to be enjoyed in shorter chunks. I think that's cool. Those are the best games on Switch as of yet.
Yeah, it does have that going for it, but I don't think I feel like they accomplished that with like having 120 shrines that you have to find. They need to break your sword every 5 hits in order to
the sword thing is very strange. I guess they just wanted you to like try more weapons rather than just like stick with a really good one from the beginning, but that is an extremely annoying choice. I have to concede.
And some of the things like the climbing, everybody talked about how great the climbing was, but it's really slow and really annoying when you don't know exactly how far you can climb, because I keep finding myself like I will get all the way up to like one away from a thing, and then I'll fall down to my death. Like that's no
Well, maybe
fun.
to me that sounds like you need to get better at the climbing,
Yeah,
and gauging,
apparently.
gauging,
So I
pacing
started a
yourself,
room.
really.
I started a room and sent you an invite. Like I'm
Okay,
not
cool.
shitting on the game, but like I would give this game like it's a worth playing game. I'll give it like a solid 7, 8. As a like reasonable score, like not
So
like
what
7 where is like
to,
0.
for comparison's sake, like what's the most recent like 10 for you?
Most recent 10. Oh, let me look in
So should I
my.
do training online? What do I choose here to join your
No,
thing?
I sent you an invite, so
Oh,
it
okay,
should come
cool,
up in your
cool.
messages.
Okay,
Most
okay, there it
recent.
is.
Let me see. Wouldn't be Injustice 2. That's
Yeah.
it's good, but it's not as good as the first one. I might most recent 10 out of 10. Let's see. Damn, I
Stuff.
will
I'm
even
like
give
I'm like looking through like what came out this year.
it actually will probably be XCOM. Man, it's not even fair to give it to XCOM because I'm assuming that the additional content kind of adds a bit the extra, point and half point that I would adopt from the original release. So I guess it would probably be XCOM 2, even though there's some technical glitches that kind of hold it back, and it wasn't as diverse as XCOM 1 with the expansion pack. But
Okay.
probably yeah, I guess it would probably be XCOM 2 would
That's your
probably be the last.
closest. Your closest. 10.
Yeah, closest 10.
I'm trying to think.
I could see giving Horizon Zero Dawn a 10 out of 10, but it's like I feel like the game deliberately so knew its limit and limitations, so the entire experience is good, but it's not like a game I feel like I need to replay ever.
Yeah.
So I think so the re so I'm excited for the expansion pack, but there's nothing in the game I feel like I need to go back for and do. So I feel like any 10 game is a game that I want to go back and play again almost immediately.
Okay, so your 10 out of 10 game not only it's like single player game because you're saying basically that I don't think that you would probably include in your rankings like a multiplayer game as a 10 out of 10, for example.
No, not only not a strictly multiplayer game. I feel like so many of them are probably what Mass Christmas thinks video games are. Like, they're just these
Yeah, just
things
like
that are just sucking our brains out. Basically, I feel like it's something like Overwatch, which
yeah.
I can understand why people enjoy it, really into it, but it's the same thing over and over and over
Yeah.
again. I personally can't get too involved into it.
I can, but I need both. I need both that and single player games.
Yeah,
My
Final
10,
Fantasy.
I probably maybe I give the 10 to the first Wolfenstein, just because I played it recently.
Oh,
and,
yeah,
that's the
yeah,
one
yeah,
that,
yeah.
like,
It's the
like,
oh,
ju-
you know what? I take that back. So I might give Doom a 10 out of 10. I haven't finished
Okay.
it yet, but yeah, it's very good.
Yeah, Doom is really good. KOTOR, I mean, if you take it like in the context of like when it came out, you have to give it a 10 out of 10. But
Oh, absolutely.
there's some jankiness in there that's set in.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah. The one thing that really annoys me about it is like they never added like controller support to it. Even though KOTOR 2 they added controller support like last year.
Yeah, I'm just starting in on KOTOR 2, and I think I'm gonna like it, but there's something that I found like charming about the jankiness in KOTOR 1. Like KOTOR 2 is feeling like a little too polished to me, or something.
Oh, did you install the appropriate mods?
Oh, should I? Are there like mods I'm supposed to put on for?
Yeah,
2?
absolutely, 120%.
Okay, which
There's
one?
additional content mod,
Oh,
and then
okay.
yeah, that's the main one you want to put in.
Additional content. Okay. All right. Well, should we do a game here? Should we do one of these?
Yeah, let me get back.
Did you see Star Wars yet?
No.
Are you planning not to see it?
Yeah, at the moment I'm probably not going to see it. I don't know. It depends on if my wife really wants to see it, but like I don't really feel a need to. I feel like if you haven't seen the movie, spoiler alert, but this tweet sometimes sums up my feelings. Somebody said, "If I have to watch Luke Skywalker die with my own two eyes, I swear to God," and then they just post a GIF of them loading the gun or something. Like, that's how I feel about it, especially the way he goes out in that movie. Like,
Yeah, it's fucked
it's
up.
just,
I mean, we were spending all week on the Discord over there watching every single leaked piece of footage from Last Jedi, and it actually that was, I think, the healthiest way for me to have seen the movie, because some of the like worst pain that I was gonna go through, I was already like, I knew what was happening already. And there's some deep pain. They're really fucking. They're not fucking around with these movies.
yeah.
Okay, I haven't played this really, but let's get into it.
Yeah, I'm sending a couple of tweets out. Send it to the Chapo Trap House Discord. They might check it out.
Yeah, why not?
Even though all their channels have these clever names, it's hard to know which one is which. Okay, so Keys and Struggle Session is the gaming one.
I guess I'm jury. I didn't pick quick enough. I was looking for,
Oh, I didn't pick anybody either. I was.
So we're doing a random to start, basically.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay.
Oh, I'm jury. You're.
Oh, I'm. This game does really have a cool look. So I don't play that many fighting games. Are you like a big fighting game guy?
No, I'm like I think I'm like
You're a single
one
player.
step of I'm pretty into it, but I'm like one step before like buying like arcade stick.
Oh, okay, sure.
Like
yeah.
I never made that.
I know.
Like,
I know people that are the arcade stick guys. And you know what? More power to them. I wish I could get that into these ones. I have no cause to make fun of anybody after I put like 150 hours into every Pokemon game.
But I was really into Street Fighter as a kid. It's probably my most played game, really. But you don't really count those fighter hours that you play.
Yeah,
like you will like a Final Fantasy. So, like I sure I finished Metal Gear Solid, like 6 or 7 times. But how many times did I play the arcade mode on Street Fighter? Probably 100.
How do you use your like Ultra in this?
It's a combination. You have to do like it's usually down forward, all 3 punch or all 3 kick, or down back, all 3 punch, all 3 kick. It's not like Mortal Kombat where you just hold or we just hold down the 2 shoulder buttons.
Yeah, that's more my speed. Okay, I'm gonna have to choose a character and learn some moves and really give this my all, Oh, Skullgirls. I've never played. Hey, what's going on, Cormans? How you doing? I've heard of Skullgirls. I've never played it.
Yeah,
I also kind of want to. Go ahead.
I have Skullgirls on PS3, but I've never really played it.
Wasn't there one like called like Mugen or something like that where you could like download like custom ones or something?
Yeah, that's on PC, and it's like the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 engine, but like people create their own characters of like anything. It's actually pretty cool, but I never really got into it.
Yeah, I kind of maybe that's gonna be the one that I get really into. Thank you for this. Who should I play as? Jesus. Okay. So you don't have, what's his name? Who's your basic guy? Ryu or something?
My basic guy is probably Ken. I'm a Ken guy.
Okay. I'm gonna try some M. Bison.
M. Bison versus Cammy. A lot of backstory there.
I don't know the Street Fighter lore. So what is
Oh,
the?
oh, there's some lore. Like I think what is it? So Cammy is like a special ops person from the UK who
Okay,
was sent to take down
so
Bison,
like
but I think at some
MI6.
point, yeah, but I think at some point she got captured by M
Can I
Bison and
pause and
turned
look at
as-
my moves for a second here?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Right.
Well, or maybe you're
Does
not
it
even
pop-
able to.
Oh, it doesn't actually pause. Oh no, you
Oh,
can't even look at. You can't even look. Wow, that's weird.
wow, that's sick. All right. Actually, you know what?
Yours is probably back forward punch, back forward kick. Unless they changed it. I think they did. I think they might have changed some of Bison's
I'm not gonna do it
moves.
for this round, but for every single one from now on, I'm gonna open it on my laptop and have
Okay.
moves up.
I think they made Bison fireball motion instead of charge motion. I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you have 5? Do you have Street Fighter 5?
I had it and I actually traded it in. Like I had no
See-
like it's not that good. Like there's
Man,
no there's
Man
no
Cave
arcade
or-
mode.
So is it like a new Call of Duty or something? Like it just doesn't upgrade that much?
Oh no, that wasn't the problem with it because it was several years after the fact, but like
Okay.
didn't have a lot of characters. It was built around like the extreme hardcore fighter who doesn't care about like things like story mode
Right. It was,
or
okay,
arcade
so
mode.
it's based after like pro gaming.
Yes. And it just wasn't as fun. Like the new characters weren't that interesting. They were missing a lot of old favorites, and there's no arcade mode. So like if the purpose isn't to play online like all the time, like there's very little replay value.
Man Cave or Caveman was saying Mugen is good for weird edits like Homer Simpson, Broly, or King of the Tailskins. That's just exactly why I want to get really good at Mugen. That sounds awesome. Oh shit!
Yeah, there's no arcade mode in Street Fighter 5. It doesn't make any sense. All there is like a training mode where you do like 4 matches per character, and that's the quote unquote arcade mode. But the point is to train you to fight online. So they wanted to be like they wanted to turn it into like a shooter, like an online shooter game. Like a lot of people were disappointed in it, not just me.
Are the moves like different? Is it a big upgrade to the meta, as it were?
No. There's no real difference. Meta speaking, but they did do like a Mortal Kombat style, well, modern Mortal Kombat style, like story mode, but it was really poorly written and just bad, like really bad anime.
The answer lies in the heart of battle.
The battle has begun. Fight!
Hadouken! Shoryuken!
The fight has finally begun. Which one of these two will emerge on top?
Hadouken! Shoryuken!
Come back. Will this gambit work?
I'm very bad, but I promise you, I won't get better. I refuse to. I refuse to get better.
You know where I use moves right down for
Yeah, I'm like
square.
learning it now. Or yeah, like
Hadouken!
Will this gambit work?
okay. There we go. I'm getting closer to it here.
Challenge me after some practice.
Pick up the pace. Fight!
Hadouken!
And there's the first hit. What's next? This is the one we've been waiting for. The ultimate battle of supremacy has begun.
Hadouken!
Oh shit.
So you have an ultra and a super. Super kind of works like Mortal Kombat, where you can do regular moves and power them up to lose the bar that you build. And the ultra is more like a comeback move, so that charges by like the more you're down, the more the ultra charges, and that lets you, if you hit that, you can basically come back.
Okay.
But this is not a game. Yeah, but this is not unlike Injustice. This is not a game like you can pick up very easily in a short amount of time. Like
I can though.
oh, you can. All right.
Okay. Okay. I have the move list up. I'll figure it out. You've been playing all your life, but I'm gonna get this figured out.
So you didn't play like it on the Super Nintendo or anything?
I did, but I just was never like as big. I watched people play fighting games more than I played them that much. I just was never good at them that much.
The answer lies in the heart of battle.
I was like more of a racer for multiplayer.
Do you mean Mario Kart, or do you mean
Yes.
Gran Turismo?
I don't mean Gran Turismo, but I do mean like Daytona on like Saturn, I think it was. I played that game a lot.
Burnout.
Yeah, F-Zero. Oh, okay. We're close though. That's getting closer. I'm sure you're not going easy.
Yes, notice me, senpai. I don't know why Sakura's still in school though. Like,
Okay, sure. I'm just trying to get my like super off. Wow. Well, Jonathan is not here right now because he had to go have dinner with his family, and so he might
he's
join
not
us a little
as
later on.
committed. He's not as committed to gaming.
That's not what I was gonna say,
as
but
some of us. I just want to point that out. You know,
yeah,
I'm right now ignoring my wife and my
Yeah.
dog.
yeah. I have a family too, and I choose not to interact with them so that I can have more time to game. I guess I just, you know, I know the responsibility I've taken on, and I choose to honor that. That's all.
Yeah, so, yeah, some people don't.
Oh. L1 and R2. Oh, okay. L1, oh, okay. So L1 and L2 hit all three buttons of punch and kick,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Training stage. Fists will fly at this location.
Okay.
So this is what's his name? Aiden. He's a French sambo fighter,
The battle has begun. Fight!
which is like a martial arts that's actually more popular in Russia.
Who will conquer once and for all?
Does he know Zangief?
Del Zangief's in here, but you know Zangief's a pro wrestler.
Oh, well, a Russian guy. I'm saying, do they know each other?
No, he's
Hey, you think
Yeah, he's
Zangief had anything to do with the Podesta emails? Kind of fucked up that Zangief is in this game, to be honest with you, given like what's been going on in this country. Wow.
so that's an ultra.
Okay.
Fighting will help me to remember.
And the battle can
So when they advertised this game when it first came out, they actually said called it the first mixed martial arts game of all time.
Is that true?
Yeah, It was kind of funny way to do it, and they advertise it on like MMA events and stuff. It was pretty fun.
Hey, good for them. That's good advertising. I wonder what ad agency did that.
So this guy is very MMA inspired. Oh shit. Oh fuck.
Oh! Oh my god. Okay. Alright.
Almost.
Most of the game is out of frame. Okay. Hey! Yeah, good. Oh, yeah.
Oh
fuck,
yeah,
it is.
that's weird. How did that
That's
happen?
fucking crazy. Hold on a second. Let me fix that. I think I'm going to reset the transform here. I wonder how that happened. Okay. Hey. Thanks for the heads up. That's a fairly bad problem to have.
Oh, and can we reset the call? It does that crunchy thing that Google does sometimes.
Oh, you want to like get off? Oh yeah, I'll hang up and get back on.
Okay.
All right. Is that better?
Yeah.
Is it better?
no,
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
One
yeah.
sec, I gotta fix
I think.
the video.
I think every so often, like every third call, just gets really crunchy.
Weird.
All right, we're back. Does everybody hear us? Everything okay? Everybody can
I
see.
think everything's all right. All right, there we go. Now you can see the full frame of me getting destroyed by Leslie at Street Fighter.
This is
Thank you.
Adon.
To Yank Shemesh.
Fight locale chosen.
All right.
I'll show you just how strong I am.
This is Adon. First made his appearance in Street Fighter Alpha series. I think he's a disciple of Sagat, a
Okay.
Muay Thai fighter, who is and Sagat is also a Muay Thai fighter. Muay Thai discipline from Thailand. Very effective fighting technique, still used in mixed martial arts today.
Ryu, on the other hand, uses magic energy, which is also a very effective fighting technique. Oh, fuck me. Alright. Alright, everyone. You can finally see what's been happening to me. Now you can live in my pain, too. Speaking of which, I gotta say, I'm very pleased, just that our Berserk episode is out, knowing that other people are gonna have to go through that very soon.
Yeah, it's so
as a
good.
result of what we did.
I'm
You know what I was
so
thinking?
happy.
You know what I was thinking is like, you know, the left needs more anime. We can't let all these like
I also-
4chan guys like take anime away from us. Like anime
No.
rules and like, you know, can't let them have
Anime is-
everything fun. You know what I mean? They get like memes and everything. We need to take back anime, everybody.
Yeah, we're taking back anime. We're taking back gaming. Fuck those motherfuckers. They don't own it. We do.
I'm here to say you don't have to be racist to like anime. That's what
If that's
it's
the
all
one
about.
thing, if that's the one thing we can contribute, it'll be worth it.
Just
And we like
because
good-
you like. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
And we like good anime.
Yeah,
And we like-
I also like bad anime too.
Okay.
But I mean, you know,
We do. Yeah, but,
Bad
like,
anime
One
is good
Piece
in its
isn't
own
bad anime.
no, that's
Dragon
true.
Ball
You're
is-
right. These 4chan guys, like, it seems like they like the a lot of the like schoolgirl anime.
Like the schoolgirl, the harem, the coffee shop, all that bullshit. Oh, Corman's Inferno, you checked it out. You were shocked by how good and gruesome it is. Yeah, it's dope.
It really is. It really is good. Kind of throughout watching it, you know, I was watching it for the show, and as we were going through it, there were like 3 different periods of like what I thought of it. Like at the beginning, I was just like, oh, like the battles are awesome, and by the end, well, I don't know if I need to say that on stream. I don't know if talking about Berserk is allowed by the Twitch terms of service. Oh, God. What are the Japanese nationalist shows? I don't know these shows.
Yeah, but I'm sure like Japanese TV is actually the worst TV in the world. As someone who lived in Japan before you, it's like it's all like these terrible game shows where you just or reaction shows where you just watch minor celebrities watch other videos.
The reaction shows are funny. And didn't on the reaction shows though there was like there's good stuff on those shows. I mean, you know, I know from watching YouTube clips.
Like every so often there's like a cute AKB48 like one like that's amusing, but like it's annoying. It's like basically like you're not allowed. It's not about your reaction. It's about your reaction to other people's reaction because that's a lot safer. Like you have to watch people react for you instead of having real emotions.
Oh, at least I got a fucking super off. Ooh. Well, you know, Chexoid, you know, while traditionally I would sort of be against animes that combine girls with uncomfortable military fetishism, I would recommend checking out Kill La Kill, which I think actually ultimately in the end is anti-military, but I can't deny that that is not a show that is about girls and uncomfortable military fetishism.
Look, not to hurt anybody's feelings or big league any of my co-hosts, but we will never ever do any anime that was not released on VHS. Like that's
what the fuck? Why?
Yeah, because everything after that is not good.
So
I'm
FLCL.
Sorry. It's okay.
FLCL is not good. Like all the Gynax stuff, like the Evangelion movies are cool.
I'm sure they're okay, but we have original Evangelion to talk about.
Okay,
well, fine. I guess that's a grandfather clause. Then the Evangelion movies are
okay. Yeah, the remake movies. Okay, that's an interesting question. Like, I mean, what about like One Hero Academia? Or everyone likes that one right now, or My Hero Academia?
I've never heard of it. It sounds bad.
Well, Leslie. It's of course a school where kids go to learn how to be superheroes. It's cutesy anime Harry Potter with superheroes.
Yeah. No.
Okay, I'll enjoy that one on my own. I'll accept it, but I may have to do a spin-off podcast just about modern anime.
You and Alex will be good. You and Alex can do a spin-off. I'll jump in just to be a grumpy old man every so often.
Yeah,
I'll do
that on your wrestling show.
Okay.
Hey, there we go. How about that?
I don't know how to play. I don't know how to play with Chun-Li anymore. Like, do you still tap to do her 1,000 kicks? There was a lot of controversy surrounding her thigh size in this game.
Yeah. What was that about?
I have no idea. People have too much time on their hands.
They should just take after Dead or Alive and have a thigh slider. Everyone's happy then. Just like Dead or Alive. Everyone's happy with Dead or Alive. There's no issues with that whatsoever.
I guess all my training paid off, huh?
Yeah, Kill la Kill rules. It is really good. I bet you would actually like Kill la Kill, Leslie, but it is. I mean, actually, you really would like it. It's a difficult one to recommend to people because the core plot of it is that it's about a schoolgirl who gets more powerful as her costume becomes smaller. But that's kind of intended as like satire. I mean, in fact, it is like outright satire. Ah.
Chun-Li wins.
Okay. Well, hey, I'm getting some moves out. I'm getting some moves in. Hey, there we are. My friend Max Mayer is here. Everyone in the channel should follow Max Mayer. He's a streamer in his own right. Streams a lot of PUBG over there. Got a fun channel going on over at Max Mayer, your friend. Maybe we'll host him. He hosts our channel. Maybe we'll host him
cool.
next time he goes up.
Hey, welcome, Max. Thank you.
East Asia, thus the old devil. Fists will fly at this location.
So got,
Alright.
of course, got that scar from Ryu. Which
He's about
you
to get
can see
another
in-
one.
Yeah, which you can see in the excellent Street Fighter anime, which was released on VHS.
Now, do we have to
By the
watch
way.
them all on VHS?
If possible. Or at least watch a VHS copy on YouTube.
And they need to have been released on VHS?
Yes.
Like, I can't just, like, dub you a VHS of Kill la Kill and get you to
No.
watch it.
Once again, victory is mine. What will happen now?
So you're not going to see this Star Wars. I kind of can't believe it. Like, how are...
Like, I'm not taking a stand against it, like I am Justice League. But, like, if my wife wants to see it, I'll go see it. But honestly, like I said before, the EU is canon. I have
Yeah, the
declared
EU
it.
is canon.
This,
I mean,
this is an Elseworlds.
the EU is canon. We all know that. We all know that to be true. But don't you feel like you're, like, sitting outside of the world or something like that if you can't discuss this thing?
No, because I really know everything that I need to know about this movie. I feel like the people who watch it and actually convince themselves to enjoy it are more in a bubble than everyone else. Because as we see from the Rotten Tomatoes scores, not everyone is super stoked about it, and all the people who have to convince themselves that they're the ones living in alternate reality. It's like, you know, I don't have like I talk about Star Wars with you and JDB and the listeners in our Discord. Like, I don't feel like I need to talk Star Wars with someone who's only seen like half of the movies already and thinks they're the biggest Star Wars fan in the world. Sorry, like, yeah, I guess you think people, if any movie with lightsabers in it is the coolest thing ever, but like, you know, I have
I don't know.
more age.
I was gonna say, yeah.
I know better.
I was gonna say, let's not. I don't want to talk to Star Wars with anyone who doesn't know who Mara Jade is.
Yeah.
That's just the. Which, by the way, I've been doing like, because I haven't read all the Thrawn books. I've only read the first one, Heir to the Empire, and I'm doing a read now. And I've got an excellent technique. I would recommend to anybody who's looking to get into the Thrawn trilogy. It's an insane thing that a crazy person would do, but. What I'm doing is listening to the audio book, at slightly increased speed, which is just, what I do. But I've also got the comic of the comic adaptation.
That helps. That
of
helps.
Thrawn, and so I'm doing it, and like the comic adaptation is cool, but it like leaves out a lot of important context and stuff like that, as you might expect. So I'm just listening to the audiobook and like kind of moving, like not reading the comic, but just having it up as like storyboards while I'm listening to the audiobook.
That help. That actually is a pretty good idea because
It's a good method.
Yeah, because there's a lot of visual descriptions. Zahn creates a lot of new worlds and new characters.
Yeah.
And it's hard. I can imagine it's hard to wrap your head around it if you're
hard to
listening
keep
to the
up.
audiobook.
Yeah. It's cool. It's a fun way to do it, and they do pretty much the graphic novels miss a lot of dialogue and everything, but they do pretty much stay strict to like the scene switches and like where things happen. So it's been pretty easy to do. I just kind of like it's like I'm like watching like it's like an anime of it or something. Oh, my friend
there
Josh
probably
is taking.
is one already combined on YouTube. I actually did see this.
I looked for it.
There's a one on YouTube that like takes the audio from the books and panels it with the visuals from the comic.
Oh,
But you're
really?
gonna miss a
I
lot
should
of
just
stuff.
watch that.
But you're gonna
they
miss
just
a lot. Of
oh
stuff.
they just do they do it from the graphic novels perspective, right? It's not like the okay. No, they need to do it the way that an anime watcher would do it, which is the full like 30-hour audiobook put over visuals of a comic. Oh. Okay. All right. I haven't seen Perfect Blue actually. Corman was recommending a VHS anime we could maybe look at. 1997. Which bodes well, but I
Perfect
haven't
Blue.
seen it.
Yeah, Anime De Palma, exactly. Let's see. Josh Marks agrees, Leslie. Well, thank you very much, Josh.
On the EU, I think. Josh Marks is my
Everyone.
friend. Josh and Max, I guess, are in here. Josh does a Bitcoin podcast, which is a fascinating listen, but a difficult listen. It's a very complex show. He does this thing Tulip Mania, which is great.
Oh yeah, Belladonna of Sadness. I never watched it, but it looks cool. I've definitely heard of it, but I never watched it.
Love Tezuka. Oh wow, this looks awesome. Oh wow, I'm definitely gonna watch this. Notable for its erotic, violent, and psychedelic imagery. Okay, I'll be watching this anime. I'll be watching the anime noted for its erotic, violent, and psychedelic imagery.
Yeah, sounds dope.
Yeah, it does.
You know, the one exception for anime not on VHS that I would make it, I will allow, Afro Samurai, because I watched a couple episodes that it was really, really good.
You like Afro Samurai? Okay, I haven't watched that.
Yeah, it was really good. I was surprised.
Oh yeah, my friend Josh is not gonna see the new Star Wars. Is what it is.
It's like I'm okay with not seeing it. I was so mad seeing The Force Awakens. Like I don't want to do that to myself again, which I know I will because like there's gonna be more Kylo Ren. There's gonna be more Rey, and they're both gonna be very moist and stare at each other a lot. Talk about hope and all these things that are not what really Star Wars is about.
Yeah, a lot of hope talk. A lot of hope talk in this film. We should I guess we should say that this is should we just say that this is a spoiler-friendly zone for the Last Jedi?
I think everybody knows what happens already. I mean,
Yeah.
come on.
I mean,
These are
just-
our listeners.
I mean, it's just like at this point, Star Wars Episode 9 is going to be the JJ reprise with no original characters. I mean, like this actually does, unless Hayden comes back or something. Like this is like it actually has the potential to be the worst movie ever made.
Maybe Lando will come back. Maybe they'll get Billy D. Williams back, but which I'm surprised. Why wouldn't he make a cameo in this one? They go to a casino planet,
It's because
right?
it's because Disney doesn't want everyone to remember that they didn't introduce the first Black Star Wars character. That would be like a reminder that what they're doing is like wasn't that like unique or special. Yeah, but they'll bring back Billy D. Williams for the next one so that he can like have a showdown face to face with Kylo Ren on a giant green screen set and then get killed, which is the third act of both now of the new Disney Star Wars movies.
Jeez,
Always comes down to
like just to think about that, Han Solo and Luke Skywalker being taken out by Lena Dunham's boyfriend from Girls.
I mean, God, Pinback is saying, and he's absolutely right, that it's not about that Lando's a black character. Like, he's like an awesome character, like more charismatic than Han.
Yeah.
Which I would say is like pretty well explored in the Thrawn trilogy. The second book of the Thrawn trilogy has some very good Lando stuff.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, just like, I mean, it goes without saying, but like the EU Zahn stuff just definitely feels more like what would have happened after Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like Leia and Han like are in love and like, you know, Luke is their friend and shit. Like they're like having adventures, they help out each other. It's good. Like
The Empire was defeated but not completely demolished, and you know there's kind of like an interplay between like rebuilding the Republic ever so often fighting the Empire, and like it makes a logical is a logical extension of the ending of Return of the Jedi,
right,
as opposed to this, which just like I don't even know what
but
it
also
means.
but also not a like not an ending, not a reality that disrespects like what happened in Return of the Jedi. You know what I mean? Like that was still a significant victory in the Zahn books. You know what I mean? Like these new ones, it truly doesn't matter that Star Wars ever happened. The new ones are basically like the reason why these Star Wars movies existed was so that like they could train Rey one day. Like this all happened so that like one day everything would be ready when like Rey arrived.
Can you stand up after that?
Yeah, Shemesh. I mean, I think the movie sucks, but like I will, you know, Ryan Johnson was trying some stuff, and I ultimately like I can't forgive him for this movie ever, and like I will, you know, because he wrote it and everything too. It's not like he was like you know, he did the big press tour and everything. Like he's, you know, he's complicit in a big way in this thing. But I think he was like there was some like, you know, definitely there's a possibility that if you had given Ryan Johnson a Star Wars movie without all of the JJ baggage and without all the like, you know, Disney executive boardroom notes, that Ryan Johnson could have made an interesting and good Star Wars movie. But that stuff is just surrounded by like, I gotta say, like some like of the worst. Like the story of this like just is so bad, like unbelievably bad. So even if there is like occasionally some decent imagery, I don't know. What a film. What a movie. What a fucking weird movie. It's like it's like weirdly like, and I'll hand it to Ryan that like it's like shockingly prequel-y. Like, you know, and I normally would have a lot of respect for that. Yeah, man, this movie. Yeah,
the best parts of The Last Jedi was lifted from Kodor.
Yeah, I mean, and that's also the case with the Force Awakens. I mean, the whole like star map MacGuffin thing is straight up the plot of Knights of the Old Republic, but it like works better in a video game. Like the star maps look like the star map that R2-D2, who I'll say again, who in this movie, by the way, in the last movie he was like left under a sheet for the entire movie because he's a piece of shit. He's garbage. He's nothing. In this movie, he was not. He was thankfully not under the sheet for the entire film, but he was out from under the seat. I guess our audio delay is off.
Oh, what?
That's what Max tells me. Whatever, I'll try to fix it, but I don't know. Rough times. What was I saying? What were we getting into before I got that text? I can't remember now.
Just how everything was lifted from Coder, all the good moments of the
Oh, yeah.
sequence.
Oh, well, yes. And I was also talking about poor R2-D2, who was just not used in this film after being under a sheet for the entirety of the last film. Also, this is such a silly thing, but, like, for me to be extremely mad about, but of course I am extremely mad about it, but there's a part where Poe Dameron tells C-3PO to shut up, and I'm like, what the fuck are you, like, dude, you're not an original trilogy character. Like, C's like, ooh, we're in trouble, and he's like, shut up. You shut up, C-3PO. Poe's talking. You idiot. But it is cool, like, you know, I haven't, like, gotten that deep into the EU before, and it is an exciting thing that there are, like, tons of pretty good Star Wars stories out there to read.
And yeah, I want to speak on this. Like, every time I say, oh, the EU's good, somebody will pull up, like, oh, what about this thing? There's horse, starfighters, there's dinosaurs and souls and the droids. I'm like, dude, the fact is, you have to dig into a random Wikipedia page to, insult the EU. I just have to watch the fucking movies to say that the Disney EU sucked, okay? I just have to look. I just have to show you a GIF of the Matrix, and you have to realize that fucking Luke did that in a movie.
I mean,
And that's it.
to be fair, Luke, he was a hologram of Luke.
Hologram did that in the movie. Which makes
do
even
you-
less sense.
Do you know about the dice?
Yeah, I saw the dice clip.
No, but do you know,
Like,
like, the whole, that there's a callback to it? Do you know about that?
No.
Okay, so, like, Luke brings Leia Han's dice from the Millennium Falcon, which, first of all, like, I'm a Star Wars fan, and I, like, have never thought about Han's dice that much,
Yeah.
really, in the Millennium Falcon. Like,
Yeah.
it's never been, like, that big of an element of the Millennium Falcon to me. So Luke shows up, he brings her Han's dice, which also, I'll say another thing, Leia saw the Millennium Falcon after Han died, so it's not like she hasn't, like, seen the Millennium Falcon and this is some keepsake, whatever. So Luke brings her this, like, keepsake of Han's, of course, spectacularly memorable dice that he always has, Han's iconic dice from the Millennium Falcon. And then, of course, Luke, like, dies, like, it turns out he's a hologram while he's fighting Kylo Ren, but then, like, so it's like a reveal that Kylo Ren didn't kill him, but then, like, the doing the hologram makes him die anyway or something. It's fucking stupid. Back on Octu, he, like, disappears, but then, like, 10 minutes later they show Kylo Ren in, like, the command center or whatever, and he, like, picks up the dice off the ground, and then, like, the dice disappear, like, so, like, Luke was like it was like fake. He, like, was, like, fucking with Leia or something. Like, he, like, gave her a gift that was, like, gonna disappear out of her hand. And also, the last living remnant of Luke Skywalker, like, he disappeared. He actually disappeared from this mortal coil. The last living remnant was the, like, fake pair of dice that he was tricking Leia by giving her.
Jeez. Was there a reason that he did the hologram?
I don't know. No, I think it's just I don't know. I think it's like I couldn't
assume
tell you.
that he was
Like,
trying to distract him for some reason.
well, he was, yeah. So it's like they're like, dude, oh my god. So first of all, it's like the entire movie is a Battlestar episode, of course. Like, they're getting, like, chased by the First Order for the entire film. And, like,
How
literally,
original.
yeah, like, whatever. It's so boring, and it's such, like, TV set stuff. Like, you know how in Avengers, like, all of Nick Fury was just on, like, a helicarrier? Like, there's a reason why they put these things on, like, flying ships, and it's because, like, you can do modular sets and, like, shoot it all indoors, and it's, like, cheap. You shoot it like television and shit. But then toward the end of the movie, I'm just gonna like keep talking. I have to build up to it, okay?
Okay. I'm with you.
So they're like running away for the entire film, and of course, like every like 4 minutes, they talk about like like the fuel reserves are at like 16%. Like, where's the fuel? Like the fuel's at 14 now or whatever. Like just that sort of like shitty TV ticking clock kind of stuff. So, but then, like, they're trying to escape the entire time. Like, they're finally gonna like run out of like fuel and get killed by the First Order. And then they look out the window and there's a planet. And Poe's like, "What about that planet?" And they're like,
Are you fucking serious?
yeah, they're like, "What about that planet?" And they're like, "There's a rebel base on that from like a long time ago." And so they're like, "Okay, let's like go there." Like they just like he like sees it out the window and it like randomly has a rebel base on it.
Fucking serious?
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so that's so they get down to the rebel base, which, by the way, at this point there's like 25 people left in the resistance. Like there's not an army. It's legitimately like a handful of people are left in the resistance.
Let's pause just to say that how little fucking sense that makes. So, Death Star got destroyed, set the Empire back a lot because it cost a lot of money. They tried to build a second Death Star. It was so economically devastating to them that basically made them collapse. Right? I'm pretty sure that's still Disney canon too, right? So
I don't think that they care, but sure.
Yeah. So the First Order manages to somehow, in secret, build something like 100 times bigger than the Death Star or whatever. Like, way bigger than the Death Star.
The size of a planet, sure.
Yeah, that gets destroyed, but they end up in power after the fact. How does that make any sense whatsoever?
Also, like, not only do they end up in power, but like the rebels are like on the run. Like,
yeah, exactly.
The rebels
like,
just literally
not in power, but like in power in the war. Like they end up ahead in that.
And on top of
exchange.
all that, not only is this like the new Death Star, which would have cost them tons of money to make and everything, but they show that like their entire army is like on that planet. Like they show like these like big Nazi rallies where there's like thousands of stormtroopers. It's like, so that just didn't mean shit. It was nothing. Like that was not a big deal. They destroyed that thing.
I know people are gonna say, "Well, they destroyed the Death Star at the end of New Hope." Well, they didn't know they were gonna make 2 more fucking movies, probably. So I can give George Lucas a little bit of mulligan on that one.
Also, like, Disney did know that they're doing a trilogy, which is why it's like so bizarre all the choices that they're making in these films. Like, although Yegchamesh does say that in the chat that Laura Dern was trying to go to that planet, which. I mean, I guess it still is a very weird and funny scene when Poe is like, "Hey, what's that?" And there's just like a planet out the window. Oh, motherfucker. To be fair, I never felt the original movies were that coherent on the politics, economics, tactics. It's tough because it's like, I think that they were like purposely vague in the original movies
because it was a fantasy. Okay?
But they were not. But they're not inconsistent.
They're not inconsistent. They're not internally inconsistent. Yeah. It makes some sense. Like
it makes. I mean, and also like it was sort of left open in a way that didn't like directly contradict other things that have happened in the movie or like the series or the movie series. And I know we're gonna get people talking about like what Obi-Wan said about Anakin in A New Hope. But he was trying to trick Luke. I don't know.
Yeah. Wait, all he said was that your father was killed by Darth Vader, and that's true.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. What he was. I mean, it's true. You actually imagine it is like so funny that if Laura Dern had been like, "We're gonna go to this," like I don't know why she didn't say, but she's like, "They were gonna go to a planet." Anyway, I didn't even tell you what happened. What were we trying to? Oh, like how like what Luke was like buying time for.
Yes.
So, like, the entire Resistance was, like, which, again, is, like, 25 people at that point, is inside, like, you know, the new pseudo-fake Hoth carrier or whatever. Like, it looks like Hoth, but it's actually hot, and it's, like, salt now instead of snow. Because, you know, that was Rian Johnson's whole thing, was, like, inverting everything, even if it meant that the whole story, like, didn't mean anything by the end. So, anyway, like, they have brought, like, the First Order brings to the planet what we say is miniaturized Death Star technology, and what that is a battering ram to like blow down one door. So they're using like a mini.
Are you serious?
Yeah, they're using like a mini Death Star to like blow down like a hangar door, and that's the big like.
So, did they watch Rogue One? Because the whole point of Rogue One is that they get really specific about the Death Star technology, right?
Now it's
like,
a mini. It's a mini Death Star that they're using to blow down just one door. Finn also, by the way, like near commits suicide to keep the door. Like he like flies. Like, dude, if you hated Finn's like how they did Finn in Force Awakens, you are not going to be happy about this film.
Yeah, I don't think so. Like,
anyway, it's just whack. It's a fucking whack movie. Anyway, so they end up like using the mini Death Star and getting it shot off, which basically all it does is blow down the door. And so Luke is fighting Kylo Ren to like buy time for like the Resistance to like find another way out and escape.
but why are they that afraid of Kylo Ren? He's just one dude.
No, I think
He's not that good.
I think that they're just like, it was like a huge amount of like, you know, AT-ATs and shit like walking toward them, and again, there's only like 25 people left in the Resistance in this film, so like I guess like they had reason to be scared, but like, you know, I don't know that like Luke needed to die so that like so basically what happens is like Finn nearly kills himself to stop the door from getting knocked down, which I guess this door can only get knocked down by miniaturized Death Star technology, whatever the fuck that means. Oh yeah, Laura Dern does 9/11 the Imperial ships, which that was kind of like a cool shot. And I have to hand it to Rian Johnson. That was one cool shot in the film. It made me wish that Rian Johnson was maybe like doing his like own sci-fi stuff. To see imagery like that, it's the same as like when I saw Blade Runner 2049. I'm like, I wish Denis Villeneuve could have like made another movie about like future Los Angeles. Like, why does it have to like have all this baggage of being disrespectful to a movie I love just for him to do that? Like, I'd rather see these people make their own films that don't have all this baggage that make me mad at them.
Yeah, and if anybody tries to convince you that killing Snoke made any sense whatsoever, do not trust that fucking person. That person is a fucking replicant or some shit. They were purchased into Disney buying Fox deal, okay? Like, no, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's not that Snoke was good.
It only makes sense in the sense of like trying to subvert expectations, but you have to like have something else to do. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So so what we call this in wrestling is like a Vince Russo type swerve.
So Vince Russo is a pro wrestling booker, think writer, who's known for doing, you know, shocking twists and turns.
Okay.
Just to do them, just to trick you. So a good guy was bad or bad for no reason whatsoever. Like, he might be getting beat up by these guys for a month. Like, let's say, you know, you're attack. Me and you are a tag team, right?
Sure.
We keep getting beat up by, you know, two of the people from Crooked Media. Like, every week, they're just, you know, they're John Lovett and fucking whatever
Tommy
the fuck
Vitor,
is
Tommy Vitor.
Vitor. Are just beating their ass every week. And then, you know, like 6 weeks in, you just turn on while they're kicking our ass. We get up, and then you turn and you punch me in the face, and then you say, "I'm with Crooked Media," like for no reason, because you've been getting your ass kicked too.
Well, Leslie, do I ever have a fucking news for you? I'm just joking. I haven't joined Crooked Media like Ira and D-Ray and everybody.
Yeah. So Vince Russo twist is just a twist just to be a twist, because the week after, then I will turn and join Crooked Media too, just because people don't expect it.
And that's the type of twist killing Snoke is a twist just for its own sake. It doesn't really add anything to the story.
Which, by the way,
not like,
and look, like, I get it. Like, I hate all the shit that JJ set up in the last movie. Like, I get it, Ryan Johnson, and in like a way I can like even kind of respect that he just like destroyed it all, but like that doesn't make for like a good movie. Like if Ryan Johnson at some point in his life like admitted he's like, what I did was I hated Force Awakens so much that I like went kamikaze. Like I had to remove it all from the mythology. I had to get rid of Snoke. I couldn't have this girl be Luke's child. Then I would have respect for him, but I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, and I hope everybody who got mad at me for saying, "Oh, Tom Servo signed up for our Patreon yesterday." Thanks so much,
That's
man.
cool. Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah, you've been listening to premium episodes. Yeah, we got some good ones. That Berserk one, that's a really good one. I think that's one of our better episodes. Even people who didn't watch Berserk enjoyed it. People who will never watch Berserk now that they listen to the show still enjoyed it. So yeah, we got some good stuff. Patreon.com/struggle session.
Yeah.
Sign up if you want to get cool bonus episodes and support the show, really, because the bonus episodes are cool and all, but the real thing is like by you subscribing, you allow us to do this show, because I literally I would have to be like at a part-time job now on top of my full-time job if I weren't doing this show during this time. So thank you so much. You are helping me and JDB pay rent, basically. So Jack's fine.
I want to do it. I want to do it as a job too, but it's not as dire for me. I will admit, it's not as immediate. But I'd like to stop. I don't want to work as like entertainment sucks. I don't want to do it anymore.
Oh, Tom Servo, he watched Berserk for the first time to follow us. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I did. I'm sorry. I don't feel bad that I did that to you.
The ending really was something else, and the more I think about it, the more I like really love it. Actually, I think the ending is good.
Yeah, when I got done watching it, that's why I told people not to watch the first episode, because that ending feels so much more impactful when you don't know that it's gonna turn that there's anything else after this, that there's no hope, that this is just what happened and then you're done.
I will say that I had before, and it wouldn't, it would have hurt this viewing, but I had before had a false start on reading the manga, so I think I've like read that first episode before, and it still didn't really ruin it for me. I was still fucked up by this ending. I was like, what? I will read the manga, but I'm rededicating myself to One Piece for the time being.
Baby anime, like it was funny. I had to break it to Dactyl yesterday that Attack on Titan is actually like a tween. It's like a tween manga, because he watched it. He was like, "Oh man, this show was so fucked up. I definitely couldn't watch Berserk." I'm like, Attack on Titan, like they advertise that in like 7-Eleven and like have toys and shit. Like it's not like considered like a hardcore thing at all.
There's some there's fucked up imagery in it, but yeah, it's not Berserk.
Yeah, make anime fucked up again. There's not enough dark stuff. There's not enough dark anime. Like we could get into like Wicked City and fucking X. X was fucked up. Did you ever see X?
Some pretty dark stuff in the Evil Majin Buu saga. No, I never saw X. Not at least I can remember.
Oh, X is so good. It's like,
oh
oh,
motherfucker!
that was a close one.
Griffith did nothing wrong. We should make one of those those like the 4 quadrants of like political thought or whatever. We should do one of those with all the Berserk characters.
So which one? So I think so. Where would you put people?
Hold on, let me look it up. Okay, so it's.
So I think Griffiths is actually authoritarian left.
Left, weirdly. Yeah, I think he is actually.
He's authoritarian left.
And
Guts is
Casca might be authoritarian right.
Yeah, Casca. That's what
she just wants to blindly follow.
Yeah, Casca's authoritarian right. She just Corcus is libertarian right. 100%. 110% Corcus is libertarian right. Gus is I think Gus is libertarian left because I like he just wants to he does want freedom,
Guts,
but he also
Guts
wants
is the
justice.
toughest one. Guts is really the toughest one to
Yeah,
place.
it's the toughest one.
You think libertarian left?
Yeah, I go for it. Oh, yeah, I saw that Junji Ito anime is coming out in
Oh,
like
shit.
3 weeks.
That is good.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna do a Junji Ito episode.
Yeah.
100%. We might have to do a couple because he's got a lot of shit. We could probably do a whole episode on Tomie, just the movies and the manga, because a lot there.
I think you're right. Libertarian left is what it is for Guts. Just because I think he would be like a Second Amendment leftist. Like your Guts is not going to want to like give up weapons or anything like that. Oh yeah, I watched Shin Godzilla and it was awesome. Shin Godzilla rules. Do you see that, Leslie?
No, I didn't see it.
You got to see Shin Godzilla. It's Hideki Anno, the Evangelion guy. And do you know anything about it?
I there's been so many I feel like there's been like 3 new Godzilla movies.
Okay, so Shin Godzilla is like the best one. It's the Hideki Anno one. And it's legitimately like it's basically like what if Godzilla would attack real Japan? So like 90% of the movie is just in like conference rooms. Like it's just about like bureaucracy and how like and how Japanese government works, and like it's a funny movie because it's like it's just everybody like working together to defeat Godzilla and like showing how bureaucracy can function. It's really awesome.
Yeah, well, I think that's a little bit aspirational, but there would definitely be a lot of meetings. I don't know if they would ever get around to doing anything about Godzilla.
That's the point of the film, though. The film's take is that bureaucracy, Japanese style bureaucracy, works.
It doesn't. Sorry to say.
Anyway, it's great. It's a great film.
Like the best way to stop Godzilla is to pretend like he's a middle school student who was caught smoking. Then like the entire country would stop.
Really?
He's a foreigner who smoked weed. One time. Not even had weed on him, just was caught smoking weed at some point in his life. Then the kind of country would go in.
Hey, look at that. JDB in the chat says he'll be here in 40 minutes.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Shin Godzilla about Fukushima.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, bureaucracy didn't work in that at all. It was very much like the crony capitalist bureaucracy we have in America, where what was it, Tyco, the energy corporation, basically lied to the public constantly, and the government let them. And people were really mad about it, thankfully. Like, the Japanese people were really into it and really upset about it.
As they should be.
And they really stood up and fought it.
The first half of the movie is mostly politicians trying to avoid responsibility and protect their careers.
Yeah,
that is true.
That's
I also
correct.
had I had the weirdest experience watching Shin Godzilla for the first time. I've seen it twice now. The first time I saw it was when I visited Japan. I was just like, let's go see the Godzilla movie. And, so I just watched it in Japanese, and like I said, 90% of the movie is just conference rooms. So I just watched a movie that was just all about debating in Japanese. And Japanese folks, they watch the credits. They really watch the credits over there.
You're supposed to sit there and watch all the credits. I don't know why. It's because everybody else does it too. And it's so funny, if you ever watch a sad movie, everyone in this theater starts crying at the same time.
Weird.
Yeah, it was so weird. That was the first movie I saw in Japan. Everybody started crying. I was with a Japanese woman. I was like, she started crying. I'm like, what's going on? Why are all these people crying in unison?
Weird.
It's just what
I
people
bet.
do.
I can't even imagine what. Did you watch that movie Your Name, the big anime from last year?
No.
That I think JJ is fucking adapting. Anyway, that was like kind of like a teen love drama, so I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine how moist those theaters must have been. It's like teenagers who like travel through time. It's a cool movie, but I'm sure JJ will find a way to completely destroy it.
Yeah, as he does everything he touches. J.J. Abrams is the motherfucker who did a Star Trek movie that made so little sense that they had to retcon it with the next movie. They had to literally ignore everything he did in Star Trek Into Darkness because he ended death in the galaxy. Like, people don't die anymore if you take that movie seriously.
Wait, what?
All you have
Really?
to-
I can't remember.
You don't remember it? Like, so
No,
Kirk dies, and then they bring him back by giving him blood from Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh yeah.
And that works somehow. So
Yeah, that is crazy.
So there's no reason for people to die anymore, especially since Benedict Cumberbatch is supposed to be like 50 years old or something. Like, he was frozen in time. They've had that technology for a while.
So JJ lied in that movie. That's so annoying. Do you remember that? JJ
Yeah.
said, like, he's like, everyone was like, is it gonna be Khan? And he's like, no. It's
Oh,
like, he
yeah,
like
yeah,
said
yeah, I
outright,
remember
he's like,
that.
it's not Khan. And then like just
He
was
actually
like
he wrote a letter apologizing for that and for the
Go
fact that
fuck
they
himself.
had the retcons. Yeah, like, he had to apologize for it. Like, it's a bad sign when you have to write an open letter to apologize for a movie.
for like
he made,
every
like,
movie you do.
Yeah.
Like he made it so death didn't matter in Star Trek. Then he like made Chewie not care that Han died. Maybe you should stop giving this guy franchises at a certain point. When do you think we get JJ's Back to the Future? Back to the Future's got to be the big one that is gonna happen before too long. Oh boy. Man, Back to the Future rebooted. I bet you they will go to the 80s or 90s. And plus, I also bet, like, in the new one, they'll just, like, go to a bunch of different times.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It really depends when they get the reboot going. Like, honestly, like, if they get it going, if it takes 5 years, it could be that they go back to the early 2000s. Like, literally, the next Back to the Future could take place in, like, 2002 or something like that.
He'll be the first person to ever play dubstep.
That is true, Man Cave or Caveman. He is very, very good at taking notes. JJ, he's very good at painting, right inside those lines, and that's why they like him.
He has no spine, no original ideas.
Secret laboratory. Fight locale chosen.
You'll be seeing red by the time I'm done with you.
All right. Marty McFly invents Rick and Morty.
Heart of battle.
God, honestly, that's the like call of the century. Is what the fuck? Rick and Morty guy gets the Back to the Future movies. They give Roiland Back to the Future. Oh, and by the way, Leslie, do you realize when the Han Solo film is coming out?
It's like March, right?
Yeah, it's like May. It comes out in like 5 months.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Like, and I don't, but I see. So there's a couple of problems with the young Han Solo movie. First of all, We already know what young Han Solo looks like. He looks like Harrison Ford.
He doesn't look like,
he looks like
the kid that Steven Spielberg found at a fucking bar mitzvah, Alden Ehrenreich.
he looks like Harrison Ford looked like when he was young, because he was young when we played him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. We'll go past that first one.
I don't. Didn't anybody really want to know Han Solo's past? Like, when he becomes an actual fully developed human is after he meets Leia, right? It's not before, it's after. When Lando stops being a scumbag, it's after he joins the rebellion, not before. So, so we're meeting these characters, and of course they're gonna have their character arcs and stories, and they're not gonna end up being pieces of shit by the end of the film. So what is that gonna say about like Star Wars? Like, he just, I don't know. Like, he didn't need Leia and Luke in his life.
No, he was like a good guy already. He was cool. He was probably like nice and cared about the value of friendship or whatever. Whatever the lesson is going to be in the Han Solo movie.
And, you know, there can be no love interest, no serious one, because everybody's going to hate her. Like, especially now. Like, Jesus Christ. So there can't be any romance.
Although Disney, like, clearly does not give a shit about the, you know, the relationship between Han and Leia. So maybe that will just fully be retconned at some point. They'll just be like, they never dated. Oh shit. Lagging for a second.
So, like, what I really, like, I know this will probably never happen, especially given what happened in The Last Jedi, but, like, if you're gonna do a trilogy of Rian Johnson movies, why not just do, like, you know, tell us what happens to Luke, Han, and Leia, like, after Return of the Jedi.
God.
Like, do
Leslie, don't even say that. You don't want that. You
I
don't
know.
want what that's gonna be.
It would be so terrible. I know, but like that would be the idea. Let's say these movies were actually any fucking good, right? Let's say these movies were actually any fucking good, and then somebody's gonna do another side trilogy. I would want that trilogy to be like, you know, just do the Thrawn trilogy, recast the cast, and just do like if not exactly the Thrawn trilogy, just tell a story adjacent to that about the trials and tribulations of Luke, Han, and Leia after the fact.
You know what I think would be a good idea for the Star Wars films for me is I think that you should do a trilogy that's sort of like, okay, so here's the perfect scenario for Star Wars is there's a trilogy that's kind of like the Luke Skywalker story that's he becomes a Jedi and ultimately takes on the Empire. Then I think that you would also want to do a trilogy about how Anakin became Darth Vader. And then outside of that, I feel like you should just do like books and comics and stuff. And that's the perfect way for Star Wars to be.
Yeah, I would have loved to see the Thrawn trilogy on screen because like there's a lot of good stuff there, but they waited too fucking long. They let all the main actors get old. Too old and too idolized to replace and too old to play themselves anymore. And Han,
it's almost like there's a reason why Lucas never did the movies after. Like it's almost like there were a lot of problems about how to stick the landing and do that properly.
And you know the fact is, like the era that takes place now, there's not a lot of EU stuff that happened. It's deliberately left vague. So they could have just picked up where they left off, like, and you know maybe if they're since now Star Wars movies have fucking flashbacks, you could have flashback of Mary Jade.
Yeah, they have flashbacks now, of course.
Oh, Jesus Christ, you could have flashback of Mary Jade and all that shit, and Luke and Han's kids and all that, and then just did like a real new story with new characters and like I don't know. And like it would have been better if they just started off like from scratch and then just had the three main people be like cameos. Like, oh, Han's a governor, Leia's a governor, Luke's off in exile over the Jedi Academy. He could have done the same thing. He could have been hanging out by himself because that kind of is how he ends up in the EU. But like, there's an actual reason for it, and all his friends don't die while he's fucking off drinking green milk or whatever.
You know, Leslie, in the movie that the big reveal is that like, why Kylo Ren went bad or whatever?
Because Luke tried to murder him.
Yeah, it's like he woke up and Luke had like his like lightsaber out, like because he saw darkness in him and it was gonna kill him or whatever.
Jeez.
Which I'm like, and Luke later on like, says like, I wouldn't have done it. Like it was just a flash of emotion or something. And I'm like, so like that doesn't make sense for Luke. Like Luke in a flash of emotion like was ready to kill like his like nephew, like Han Solo's kid, like Leia's child.
Was he a kid at the time?
I mean,
or?
it's kind of like looks like he's like a teenager or something. I mean, he looks like he's Adam Driver, so like he's played by Adam Driver.
Oh, he's
not
still
the
Adam
younglings.
Driver. So like he saw a flash of darkness in him, but like the whole point is that like as a Jedi, he's supposed to see that flash of darkness and then still, what's the word? Hope for the best. So
well,
he
also,
would not have. Go ahead.
I mean, like Luke's been in a situation where he's like seen darkness in someone's heart.
He's been there before. He's done that himself.
Tried to turn them to the light side. I can think of one pretty big example of when that happened. And it wasn't a teenager Darth Vader cosplayer when it happened that time. It was the real deal.
He didn't give up hope, and that was when Darth Vader was literally the right hand of the man who was ruling the galaxy, and he was Kylo was just an angry teen.
Yeah,
and Luke would have known that he could have taken him out anytime he fucking felt like it. If Rey can kick his ass, I'm pretty sure Luke would have been.
Well,
Rey
actually no, that they do explain that in this film, which is just that Rey is the most powerful Jedi who's ever lived, and has more. I mean, they don't say that explicitly, but that's kind of the explanation. It's just that like Rey is like the greatest of all time. Do you know how the movie ends?
How?
Like the last shot, it's legitimately. It's like a Target commercial or something. Like it's like so earlier in the movie they like, and I thought this was like so Disney. Like this was like the pins, those like the pins that the Disney people wear or whatever. Maybe you don't. Do you know about this?
No, I don't know.
So okay, at Disneyland, like I guess like if you're an employee, if anyone asks you for your pin, you have to like give it to them, which is like a nice thing that they did for children. That of course has now been ruined by adults who like collect the pins and like wait in line outside like Disney stores at like 4 a.m. to get the pins and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, they introduce a Rebel Alliance like ring in this movie. Like it's like a ring that you like slide open and it reveals like the Rebel like Resistance logo or whatever, and they legit like show that ring like it's like the hero shot in like a toy commercial. They like show it on someone's hand and then it like opens or whatever. And whatever, that's on Casino Planet, which is like Finn and like Rose's little side plot. The end of the movie is like a kid, like a little like orphan kid, like Oliver or something with like a little broom is like sweeping. He like finds the ring and then like he like puts on the ring and he like looks up to like the stars in the sky and sees like a ship go by, and then the movie ends. It's like legitimately like a Target Christmas commercial for Star Wars toys. Like,
oh my god!
And then of course it fades to written and directed by Rian Johnson.
Sell out, motherfucker. I knew he was gonna sell out. They're never gonna give this movie to somebody with a backbone. Never.
Yeah, like you have, and that's the problem. The problem with the new Disney model of the Star Wars movies is that you get it taken away from you if you have any kind of backbone. So like the game is rigged at this point. Like you don't. Like, even if they, like, put Quentin Tarantino on a Star Wars movie, we're never going to see a Quentin Tarantino Star Wars movie, because they'll just fire him if he tries to make a Quentin Tarantino Star Wars movie.
Yep.
And that Star Trek is also not going to be a fucking... I mean, that's ridiculous. That's just, like, an advertising campaign. They're, like, running it through a writer's room. Like, Quentin had, like, some half idea that he doesn't want to do, and they're, like, making a big announcement that, like, here's exciting news, like... 6 people who aren't Quentin Tarantino are going to flesh out, like, a half idea that Quentin Tarantino had about Star Trek.
Yeah,
Get excited,
here's-
everyone.
Why can't you just direct the episode of Discovery or whatever? Wouldn't that? Make,
Yeah, I mean, for real, yeah.
that would
why
make
did
a
that-
hell of a lot more sense.
Because movies are TV now. Like they're real. It has flattened out completely. There's like very little difference at all between like movies are now like TV shows that you have to go to a theater to see at first, and then they become normal TV shows.
Yeah, because he directed those 2 episodes of CSI. He didn't make a fucking CSI movie. Yeah, Pingback is a fucking paradox. They hire these, brilliant guys. Well, Ryan Johnson is brilliant. J.J.
I mean,
Abrams sucks.
He was like Brian Johnson. I can never forgive him for this. You know what I mean? Like I like Brick, but I'm like, you did this, dude. Like you really put your name all over this
You
thing.
killed
Like
Luke Skywalker, you son of a bitch.
I mean, that is the truth. It's like
yeah, sometimes you just get the urge to murder your family members,
Yeah,
especially when you're a Jedi like Luke, who has no experience with this
Yeah.
situation before at all.
it's not like being a Jedi. Part of the training is like learning to control your emotions. It's not like that's like the entire thing of being a Jedi.
Do you actually get to see any of like the Jedi Academy, like legit the new Jedi
No,
Academy?
you legitimately see like you see Kylo Ren laying in bed and like Luke like hovering over him. Like you don't see shit. Also, by the way, in the JJ one, they talk about like the Knights of Ren and all this kind of
Yes.
shit. Not one mention of the Knights of Ren in this movie. Like the Knights of Ren don't exist anymore.
There's actually a shot of them in the movie. If you forget,
I know, not in the new one.
It's easy to forget.
Yeah, it's
Jeez.
in her dream sequence and Maz. Oh, dude, the Maz Kanata scene too is just unbelievable.
She's back.
Yeah, there's like a scene where they're like, they need to find like a code breaker because again, they're in a Battlestar episode, so they need to like break the encryption codes or some shit. So like they call Maz Kanata on hologram, and it's like she's like Rocket Raccoon. It's like she's like in the middle of some like epic fight or something, but we're just seeing her. But she's like hopping around and shooting guns and all this stuff. She's like Rocket.
The fight, like I know you probably love it, but it's already stretched in. But like Maz Kanata, someone people have no connection to.
Yeah, I mean, hold on a second. JDB is calling me. Hello?
All right.
Hey, I'm still Mayor. You guys still going?
Yeah, we're going.
Okay, great. I'll be there.
All right, we'll see you soon then.
All right, bye-bye.
That was Jonathan Daniel Brown, everybody. I guess he's coming pretty soon.
Star of stage and screen.
Yeah, there he is. Project X's own Jonathan Daniel Brown.
So what do you think of Rufus here?
Rufus here?
Yeah.
Let me think. Yeah, I mean, he's a man after my own heart. So what is this? Is he another wrestler?
No, he's just a body posse. Although the storyline in Street Fighter 5 does make him look like just an annoying asshole.
In 5?
Yeah.
Maybe JDB will be better at this. So yeah, we'll wait around for JDB, maybe do another hour or something like that, and then, that'll be that. I mean, this is kind of a chill stream here. This has, we haven't been doing that much today.
Yeah, just chilling, just chilling.
Just relaxing. Saturday night. Talking about Star Wars.
And how it's dead, and we were right.
Yeah, we were right. We were right. Star Wars is dead. I'm very glad we stuck that claim right before everybody hated Last Jedi.
Like, you can't fool the people for too long.
I was shocked that they were able to fool them last time.
I guess people were they just wanted something like because when you look at the initial reactions to like
the prequels, like it was basically the same as the initial reaction to The Force Awakens, but then people slowly started to turn on it, and that just didn't happen with The Force Awakens because there wasn't one thing they could pin it on. They couldn't just say
Jar Jar.
Right.
I mean, there wasn't a Jar Jar in there. There was just Maz Kanata.
Yeah,
but
okay, so there wasn't just something, and it was people with lightsabers moving around on the screen and shooting lasers and shit. So it was okay.
I mean, also, by the way, the Phantom Menace has a lot of cool parts. So, like, you know, Jar Jar is like a misstep for sure. Although his storyline by the end of the prequel trilogy is very good. But the pod races are cool. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I don't like the Phantom Menace as much. But the thing about the Phantom Menace is like I can imagine a good Phantom Menace. Like even with like most of the plot the same. Like if I feel like it could almost be fixed in the editing room.
I'm not a zealot. I'm not an insane person. You know what I mean? Like I recognize that Phantom Menace is. I mean, it's likely the worst Star Wars movie, actually. Like, the kid is extremely bad. There's some really, really bad stuff in that movie. But I will have to counter, though, just because all anyone ever talks about with that movie is how bad, you know, everything in that movie is. And I just do like to point out that there is a lot of really cool stuff in that movie. Like, Tatooine is really, really cool in that movie. Like the practical set of Tatooine. The pod races are extremely good. And, of course, the fight with Darth Maul is, like, maybe, like,
great.
Top Star Wars fights.
Like, if anything, the only knock against the fight is that it's too good because it makes like shit.
And you like that, like Darth Maul dies, and like by comparison, the rest of it, you're like, where's Darth Maul?
Yes. And that was actually a twist that actually kind of worked, like because Darth Maul was this badass character, and he dies, but then they replace him with something else, you know?
Yes.
So that was, and he was always presented as like a hitman. In the movie, like he wasn't the guy; he was just the guy who worked for the guy.
And Tom Servo points out correctly that Qui-Gon Jinn is very cool. Qui-Gon is extremely cool. Like Qui-Gon is like a top. He's one of the top. I don't know. I mean, I want to say top 10 Star Wars characters, but that's not like very complimentary. But I guess I'll just give him top 10 Star Wars characters. Qui-Gon Jinn.
I can see not liking how dance-like they are, but I actually kind of like that. Like, it feels like KOTOR, too. Like, because the fights in KOTOR are, like, two people, like, kind of dancing at one another.
They're so fun. It's also, like, weird, and, like, that's so George Lucas-y that they're, like, so formal and strange. I love it. I love the fights. I mean, Yoda's fight, you know, is kind of silly. Yoda jumping around and all that. Like, I wish it was a little bit more restrained. What happened with Yoda? Like, Yoda was better in the Gendy Tartakovsky Clone Wars cartoons. Obviously, there's so many flaws in the prequels, but there's a lot of cool stuff. Attack of the Clones, I think, gets a really bad rap too.
I think Attack of the Clones deserve it because it's boring. Commits one sin that it does get boring at a certain point.
But like Obi-Wan, it's a film noir in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. Obi-Wan is fucking cool in it, but
his plot is cool. But yes, there's some whack stuff in there for sure. But
I wouldn't even say there's whack stuff in Attack of the Clones. I just think it gets dull at a certain point. It just needs to be edited, cut better. Maybe add in a couple something.
Here's something I would say about the prequels that I think is interesting. Is that I always like when the prequels are on TBS. I'll like watch the prequels when they're just like on TV, and I think the prequels function really well with commercial breaks. Like there are these weird kind of like episodic things, and it does work pretty well with like little breaks. Like,
Episode 3 is good. Like, it's not great.
Oh, for sure.
It's legit. It's a legit good Star Wars movie. I held it up.
Episode 3, like the scene with Palpatine and Anakin at that like opera is like so cool and memorable, like, and such a weird scene. Like, I love that scene. The story of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
Yes. So that's the thing about the prequels, right? You could
Theoretically, have everything. This plot is the exact same. The plot could be the exact same, and those films could be better just with a little bit cutting, a little bit editing, having Anakin be a teenager instead of a child, so that you actually
Yes.
grow with him. That would have improved it. Less Jar Jar, obviously, a little bit less comedy in the first one, and speed up Attack of the Clones. Maybe add in a little bit more of the Clone Wars stuff into that one, and you have a decent like trilogy. Like that's why when Jack says, "Hey, they happen. They're real. They're real Star
Yeah,
Wars.
they
And
are
I
real.
feel they are real." But with the Force Awakens and what I know about the Last Jedi, I don't feel that at all. Like there's nothing you can do to fix this except just pretend it didn't happen.
That's not. These aren't. They're fake. Like the EU. You're right that the EU is canon. Like that is actually what is now canon. That's the way it is.
Oh, yeah, and they Pingback said they need to be the prequels could be shot differently. Yeah, I agree with that. I think some of the or just improve some of the CGI backgrounds because
I mean,
that
yes.
they can literally do that. So
The
that
CGI
can't
is
be a
like
problem.
there's some really rough CGI in there. There are also some extremely like cool shots. Like I would actually say that like Phantom Menace probably is the worst plot wise and has some of the worst acting in it and everything, but has some of the coolest like visuals of the prequels. Naboo like is awesome. All of the interiors of like the Naboo castles and the look of all that, like very cool, I think, and practical and real.
One thing that's missing from these fucking movies, fucking goofy ass princess hair.
Well,
The
I mean,
prequels actually-
Rey, I mean, they like, I only noticed it because JJ talked about it in the commentary, but I guess Rey has like 3 buns in her hair or something, and I think that's supposed to be like the new Leia. Like, it's not working, guys. It's not that
No.
weird looking.
Simply standing before is akin to wishing for
like
The
those
prequels
pictures of,
are
like,
a little-
Amidala. Those pictures of Amidala, I remember. They just look. They're like kabuki and
Dude,
like.
Amidala is
just-
so cool. Like, her whole
Yeah.
look is cool. Like, oh man, the I'm starting to read. Have you ever read Star Wars Republic or know about that?
Star Wars Republic, no.
So it was like
It's a comic, right?
Yeah, so it was it was like the comic. It
yeah,
was
yeah.
originally just called Star Wars, and it was the comic that was like coming out concurrently with the prequel trilogy from Dark Horse. And it's kind of good. I've been reading it, and I'm like, it's like the first couple issues are just like stories of young Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon going on little adventures, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is cool, actually.
Yeah, there's adventure in the prequels. Like everybody is on an adventure and wants to be on an adventure.
Yeah.
There, like that does not exist at all in
I mean,
the Force Awakens.
and also like
the only
the feeling of size, like the feeling that this is like a lived-in and gigantic universe, like the prequels does that really, really well.
yeah, you get the feeling that there's lots of planets, lots of factions, lots of things going on.
Yeah,
Besides, the 3 people and their friends.
like there's actually probably more people on the island in Lost than there are in the new Star Wars.
Yeah.
The prequels do have a sterile feeling, and I think a lot of that was, George. Look, some of it has to do with that. The prequels are like extremely classical style filmmaking. Like they're really him trying to do like Lawrence of Arabia, but also for
Yes.
kids and with like sci-fi stuff. So that could add to the sterile feeling. But then I also think that, this is George, for better or worse, figuring out a whole new like method to make movies, and every movie is made with that method now. Like this green screen stuff, and again, I say for better or worse, but like George was figuring out a new method, and everything is done with that method now. So he still is a revolutionary filmmaker. Yes, he is, but also he's trying to do Lawrence of Arabia on little green screens instead of the desert. That is true. Pinback. But there are like the pod racers is done with miniatures. There's a lot of cool whatever. Maybe I'm gonna watch the prequels tonight again.
But yeah, so somebody said the problem with the prequels is the execution, not the content, and like so much easier to live with a poorly executed real Star Wars film than a okay or well executed Star Wars film where all the content is dog shit.
That's kind of how I'm feeling reading the Dark Horse thing. Is I'm like, oh, these comics are cool, and they take place like during some of the stuff that was done badly in the prequels. So I'm like, that stuff is still cool. Like,
yeah,
I don't know,
you can
the story
make up
of
for it.
Yeah, the story of Palpatine, and actually like the whole story of the prequels and like the way that fascism rose in the Star Wars universe is cool. Lucas like actually has a political perspective that he's trying to convey in these movies, and Disney, would it surprise you that they're not?
Well, that one Australian guy said that the movie is politically woke.
Who said that?
Some crazy Australian man whose brain has been eaten by movies.
No, but like, is he like an actor or something? Like, because everyone who likes the movie, like, so many of the people I've seen like being the loudest about loving the movie are like people who could be in Star Wars movies.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know what I mean? Like,
I'm sure Kumail is going to be in the next one. Probably.
I mean, like, I like Kumail, but like,
why
that? Because I've met him, and he's a nice fella. Not the politically the smartest guy on the planet. And Twitter is a bad representation of everybody. Very, very bad on Twitter. It has very, very bad politics. And yes, I'm absolutely certain that there's a calculation that goes on in his head about potentially being in a Star Wars someday.
Well, there's going to be one every year for the rest of our lives. Like, all of us will be in the Star Wars someday.
I mean, that would be the coolest outcome of Disney buying Star Wars, and it will never happen because they're holding like a vice grip on it. Like the version where everybody just got to make a Star Wars and we truly got to see like every director's Star Wars would be awesome. I would love that.
But no, all we're gonna see is them swap out, random directors, and the hive mind will determine what actually occurs.
Well, every director will direct one. Like, we'll see David Lynch's Star Wars, and it will look like exactly the same as JJ's Star Wars. It'll be like have he will have been there on set. Like, they're hiring directors to be there like it's a photo shoot. Like, they hire them to be there, like, put on the hat and like pose for like behind the scenes pictures, and then they're like, okay, we're gonna shuffle in the execs now to put together the scene. I mean, JJ is a Manchurian candidate. JJ is a development executive that they disguised as a director to trick nerds. And it worked. It was a brilliant plan. He was undercover for many, many years. The man's always been a development executive. But he wore a hat. He dressed like Steven Spielberg long enough that everybody thinks he's a director now. Justin Trudeau will be in the next Star Wars as a Stormtrooper. Yeah, go ahead. Justin Theroux is in this Star Wars for like a few seconds.
Oh, really? Why?
Yeah, so they go to this like casino planet because Maz Kanata says there's like only one person in the galaxy who can like break the First Order encryption or something, right?
It couldn't just be, hey, I know a guy on this nearby planet who's really good.
No, she's like, he's like the best. Yeah. Well, but then I might blow your mind because right when they're about to get to the guy who is Justin Theroux sitting at a casino, Finn and Rose actually get arrested for a parking ticket while they're running up to him. They get arrested to the police for parking illegally, and they get thrown in jail for that. But it turns out that the guy that they're in jail with, Benicio del Toro, actually also knows how to do the code breaking and has a key to the jail and opens the door to the jail for them.
Jesus fucking Christ! Why? Why? Why is it? What? It like 50 people had to sign off on that. At least,
I mean,
right?
well, that's why it doesn't make any sense. It's not because everyone had to sign off on it. It's like everyone has to like agree, come to consensus, and like the only way to get so many people to come to consensus is like if it's a compromise that makes nobody happy. Like it's just gonna like they knew they had to get Benicio there, and so they're like, okay, what if we had them meet him in the prison scene, and then that can also solve our issue of how do they get out of the prison because he can just have the key to the prison. You know, we haven't ripped the terrible humor of the movie yet. It is fucked. It's completely insane how bad the humor in the movie is. I don't know if Leslie, have you seen the Poe Dameron scene from the beginning of the film?
No. Is it anything like the Poe Dameron scene from the beginning of The Force Awakens?
Yeah, only that it's like even more pushed and like more fucked up and worse. He's like in space, you know, there's the First Order ship. He's like in his X-Wing outside of it or whatever. And he like patches into their intercom to talk to the dreaded Admiral Hux, the redheaded fella.
A redheaded 15-year-old, the most terrifying man in the galaxy.
The Dread Lord Admiral Hux himself. And so he gets on the intercom with him, and he's like, you know, I want to talk to like Admiral Hux. And Hux is like, okay, like I'm here, and he's like, okay, I'll hold. And then he's like, I'm holding, and he's like, can he hear me? And he's like, oh, am I holding? Are you there yet? Or something. Like he does like a hold joke, and it's played for comedy. And Hux is like frustrated, and he's like, you know, he doesn't, but he might as well be like, how is this even a thing? Is that a thing? It's insanely bad. It's extremely bad. And that's also, by the way, in like minute 4 of the movie. This is right at the beginning of the film. That's only one comedic beat. There's also a moment. There's a moment that I thought was cool for a second, like when they were on Ock 2, Luke's, you know, weird little planet, where like there's a creature that has like 4 breasts with like nipples, and I was like, oh, crazy! Like there's like a weird looking creature.
I've heard about this one.
And I was like, that's kind of cool, like a weird looking creature, whatever. Like that's something. But then Luke like milks its nipples, like, and then they cut to like a super like jokey Tim and Eric looking close up of like Luke drinking the milk, like, and it's all like running into his beard, and he like smiles all big. It's really messed up. It's really, really, yeah. Admiral Hux has a confessional to camera. Yeah, they cut away. They cut away to a confessional booth, like The Office. Man. And it's green. Yeah, the milk is green. It's fucked up. I mean, like, people like were mad that Jar Jar like stepped in shit once. People he stepped in
Jar Jar
and like shook his foot off. Yeah, exactly. Like you don't have to be disrespectful. Also, Luke at one point like it does the like Guardians of the Galaxy thing where it's like kind of trying to be jokey about the source material. Like he's like you know, the Force is just a bunch of like lifting rocks and stuff like that. And he's like, you really think like one man with like a laser sword is gonna change things? Like Luke says laser sword in the film.
Like, you know what? I can almost see that if they had earned it by showing like why Luke would be so broken. You know, if they had spent time to it, maybe they could have gotten Luke to that point where he's, you know, dejected, and it makes sense. But I don't think they did that work at all because you see, you know, one shot of the Jedi Academy, and that's it.
No,
like
you don't see even one shot of the Jedi Academy. That's not fair.
You see the bedroom, the darkened bedroom.
You see like the bedroom where Kylo Ren sleeps. By the way, I don't even think they say Kylo Ren until like an hour into the film. They just call him Ben Solo for the entire movie, and he doesn't wear his mask for the entire film.
Oh, that's the worst part. That's the like I keep seeing like who. Like, I guess people think he's a good-looking guy, but, like, he's supposed to be, like, a scary villain.
There's no one scary in this movie anymore. There's no villains left. Like, Snoke I mean, I hated Snoke. Like, I don't care about Snoke, but like, Snoke was a villain at the very least, you know? Yeah, the comedy is extremely bad. Leia flying like Superman is also kind of not that good, in my opinion.
See, that's the one scene I saw where I was like, okay, maybe I won't hate that. That's the one scene I saw. It doesn't make any sense internally because they established that Leia is not a Jedi, but whatever.
And also,
you know.
like, Jedis don't like fly around in space. You know what I mean? Like,
I think it's probably happened at some point. Probably at some point, Luke is.
But like, then why aren't if they can do that, like, why aren't they like flying around during the space battles? Like, why aren't like Jedi's out there like Superman, like punching planes and shit? It's because it's not like what they do.
Yeah, it's the thing. You gotta earn it. You gotta build up to it. You gotta show that this is. If anything, she should have died from exhaustion.
Yeah. Yeah, Mary Poppins, Leia is so silly. Also, it's kind of fucked up. Like, you know, you've only seen the cam of this, but like, they like live on like, you really are supposed to think she's dead, and then they show like her face get like all crystallized and like fucked up and frozen from space, and then like she like her eyes like open up. Like, it really is like playing on like the movie knows Carrie Fisher is dead. Is kind of how I feel about it.
And you know what are they gonna do with the next one now that I guess they're just gonna write her off basically and just not do anything. If there's any mercy, they're not gonna bring back CGI Leia.
JJ's coming back. I can't even believe it. They don't have any idea what they're doing. I mean, Colin Trevorrow was supposed to direct this next movie.
Why did they give her? Is there? Wait a minute. So he was supposed to direct the next one, but JJ is just turning in his like story for it, like today, right? Like that was the story. Like so what was he going to direct?
He was hired to be the director that goes on talk shows. Like, they had to hire somebody to like go on things and like wear a hat and like put his hand in a steeple in front of his face and be like, you know, the universal storylines that you see within the arcs of characters in Star Wars is really what family is all about.
Like I imagine, I guess we are going to get to a point where they're just going to have actors being directors, and then like they're just going to direct the movie from like drones via drone. Like they're going to have like all the executives are going to have a little app with that they tell people what to do.
The thing that they'll ultimately do is just like get actors to come into like a green screen, and they'll have it like shot 360 degrees, and then they'll just like pick up like reaction shots. Like, I wonder if they'll even just like digital put Carrie in the next movie with like reaction shots and shit from this movie. Like, if they just like cut out her head and put it on a different body, like they're just gonna do that for franchise stars. Like,
like Power Rangers, like they did Power Rangers.
Yeah, like they probably have that shit already for like Rey. They probably just have like Rey like look concerned. Okay, now look like you're surprised. Look really angry for a little bit, Rey. Okay, and then they can just like plug Rey into anything. Like, then the executives can just like sit in an edit bay and be like, what if Rey, what if she killed the Jedis? What if she killed the Jedi Force? They can just pop that, put that right together.
A Jabba the Hutt Star Wars Mafia Goodfellas movie. Okay, first of all, the Mafia is, using that term is extremely racist against Hutts, okay?
The Hutts are legitimate businessmen.
Yes. Like, and because there totally will be a Jabba the Hutt movie instead of like having a different Hutt, right? Like, it has to be Jabba the Hutt for some reason.
Be like young
Hutts
Jabba the Hutt. Good God.
Hutts are a race. You can have. There's more than one of them. There's not just one of them.
Yeah, somebody said earlier in the chat, and I think it's true. Where was it? It was like, the big problem with the prequels was like too much stuff, too many ideas, like too unfettered. I can't. And the big problem with the new ones is they'll never let them do anything, never have any freedom to have any ideas. Yeah, procedurally generated Star Wars. That's what it feels like already. It feels like when I go into the movie theater, it's like I'm loading up a new Minecraft map. Like they're just like building out a Star Wars in front of my eyes. Oh boy.
We should talk about. Has there been a good movie this year?
Good God, I don't know if there has been.
I guess Get Out came out this year, and that was cool.
Yeah, Get Out is fine. It's good. Get Out is good actually. It's just one of these movies where I'm like, I liked Get Out a lot, but everybody lost their fucking minds a little too much about it. But I shouldn't fault the movie for that. You know what I mean?
Like it was okay.
It's great. Like I mean, for a first time, like he directed that's his first movie. Like that's great. Like you know what I mean? Like it's cool. It's a good movie. It's not. He's not like Kubrick or whatever now. Like.
I do like.
Oh, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman came out this year.
Yeah, that was not good.
Justice League could have been the best movie of the year.
Hey, it still might be. I'm holding out hope.
No, it's not. Sadly,
They're gonna release the Snyder cut.
I swear that the Snyder, like, it's gonna be like the Donner thing. Like, we're gonna end up having to watch like one with like animatics and stuff in it. You know, like someone's gonna end up doing that. And I want to see it, like, terribly badly. Okay, I haven't seen Bodied. Come Down the Musical. That sounds good. Norman. Yeah, no, there were not any good movies. Baby Driver was not that good. It's
okay. It was okay.
You mean Baby Driver? Well, I just don't know if I don't know if I'm ready to say that about anything starring Kevin Spacey, but you can say whatever you want, Leslie. You can support whatever art you like to support.
There was no good movies in 2017. Lots of good video games.
Lots of good video games.
Yeah, so we're gonna have Felix on to talk about why video games are better than movies.
Yep.
He's been held down by the powers that be over at Chapo. And we're gonna let him. Yeah, we're gonna let him cut loose.
So let's just compare a little bit here. I'm just looking at like movies 2017 versus video games 2017. I have 2 tabs open in Google here. Okay, so let's just go through. This year for movies, we had Star Wars: The Last Jedi, Justice League, Wonder Woman, Dunkirk, whatever. Get Out is fine. Thor: Ragnarok. I think I will never see it. And then let's look at what came out this year for video games. The Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. I mean, like, you're not the biggest fan, but that's like pretty well. Like everyone's saying, it's like one of the best Zeldas of all time. Resident Evil 7, extremely good Resident Evil, like a return to form for the franchise. Horizon Zero Dawn, brand new IP, like a big new sci-fi universe. Destiny 2. It's gonna ruin my life. It's gonna fuck me up and ruin my life. Mario Odyssey, PUBG. That's like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. That's like a whole new style of gameplay that is now, completely taking over. Like Wolfenstein 2, Nier Automata. Like the games list is just insanely so much better than the movies list for this year.
Yeah, Neo, a great Dark Souls style game.
Yeah.
The expansion to XCOM 2, Torment, Tides of Numeria, which is a sequel to what's widely considered one of the greatest PC games of all time. So, yeah, that's pretty good. Evil Within 2, I haven't played it. Most people seem to be pretty into it. I really like the first one, so there's no reason to think that's not bad. That's not good. Shadow of War, lots of controversy, but still a solid, great game. Mass Effect Andromeda. Fucking sucks.
Okay, well, what are you gonna say? You're gonna have a couple misses in there. There's gonna be a couple misses in there. Sonic Mania.
Yeah, Sonic Mania, great. Technically a re-release, but whatever.
Not really. It's a remix. It's all redone, but whatever. If you want to be really technical about it.
Yeah, so Sniper Elite 4, I haven't played it, but I've played Sniper Elite 3, and it's a fantastic game and fantastic game series. So I can't imagine that this one isn't also very good as well. Like, there's a lot of good games out.
Yeah, a lot more hours of like excellent entertainment you can get out of games. Tom Servo, all power to you liking Blade Runner. Wasn't really for me because well, I just didn't like it that much. Corman's is posting out some of the good indie games, of which I've only played. I need to play more indie games, really. I don't like keep up enough. I do like Night in the Woods. I played some Night in the Woods, and I thought it was really
I played
cool.
some of it. It's okay.
It's cool. I mean, but it's like, it's just tough. Like, I get it with indie games. There's a lot of limitations, but, it's kind of like an adventure game without, like, the gameplay that much.
Yeah, I'll play any indie Metroidvania, but I think that's the only like indie type game that I really get into. I don't really like platformers enough to play like anything but Super Mario World. But like Salt and Sanctuary, great Metroidvania. Although I think that was the year before. That was last year, but
Let's get back to the movies this year. Baywatch came out this year. The Emoji Movie. What was Daddy's Home 2? Jumanji is coming out. Great year for film. Atomic Blonde was good. I did like Atomic Blonde. Tom Servo, so you caught me. You caught me in a lie. There was one good film this year. Should we do another one here?
oh, Atomic Blonde was pretty good.
Yeah, it was good.
So there was one good movie in the entire goddamn year.
Meanwhile, I'm like backed up on video games. Like, I can't. It's like not possible to play every good video game. Is how many good video games there are. I'm gonna be backed up into 2018 just to even get through my video games. I haven't even played South Park: The Fractured But Whole. I haven't even finished Shadows of War yet.
I haven't finished Neo. I still haven't finished Neo in the 3 expansion packs.
I want to play. What's another one I want to play? Oh, Nier Automata is another one I want to play.
Yeah.
The answer lies in the heart of battle.
The battle has begun. Fight! The scale tactic. The fight
Oh God.
I smell a comeback. Will this get report? I'm almost ready to call.
Oh my God. Never finish new games, just replay Fallout. I mean, why not both? Why not both? That's what I have to say to that.
Let's keep it up.
Why choose?
Fight! And with that, the fight is officially underway. Now's your chance.
Oh shit.
Could be the end. Brace yourself for a major turn in this. KO!
Yeah, where the fuck is JDB? I have the same question.
Cammy wins.
You know how these Hollywood divas are. Come on.
I know. First, he's got to have dinner with his family. All right, let's do another one. I guess I'm gonna. It's fun to keep getting my ass kicked over and over again. Man, you want to switch? Should we go to Injustice?
Yeah, sure.
Got you a couple times in there.
Yeah,
That feels like
that's
that's enough for me. I know what kind of nerd has a family. You're absolutely right. It just shows his weakness.
Oh, do you have Mortal Kombat?
I don't have it
Okay.
installed. I think I only had it on PS3 actually.
Okay.
You know, I don't play FIFA, but I have played FIFA and I've enjoyed playing FIFA in my day. I'm just not like a FIFA head really. Al, you play FIFA?
No. I don't fuck with EA anymore.
At
Like, I haven't
all?
fucked with. No, not really. Not the sports games. No, not EA Sports.
Okay, that's fair. Okay, I got 2,000 source crystals. How about that?
Yeah, this game, Injustice 2, came out this year. It was pretty good. Not as good as the first one, but okay. What?
What's that?
All right, it just didn't look like I was getting the 2,000 source crystals, and I was going to erase it.
Oh, hang on. I think JDB might be here. Hey there. Hey, come on in. Let me get you set up.
Sorry.
No worries.
How's it going?
Good. Let me get you set up here. We're about to play Injustice.
Nice.
Yeah, why
Our little food.
Right.
So.
All right, so I sent you an invite.
Hang on, I'm getting us set up here.
All right, I sent you an invite.
Here you go.
Oh, wait.
Oh, you're. Oh,
Oh, I don't have to eat now. I can just.
You brought food to eat?
Well, it was my dinner, and then I came here. So.
Oh, you skipped dinner? You didn't eat?
Yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah, I did. Said hi to my booby and my Howard, and came on over.
All right.
Oh. What are we? Sorry. What are we doing here?
Wanna play some Injustice?
Yeah, I'm in. Hey guys, how's it going?
All right, so you're
the
echoing.
mics are echoing. Okay.
Oh.
See if I can't fix that, but in the meantime, you can just go ahead and play there.
Great.
Okay.
Have we already selected our characters or how?
No. He invited us actually. Hold on, let me get us into his
Yeah, go in.
thing that he invited us to.
So
I look
I
at
got
the settings.
fired today. Or
Yeah, you're talking to this one
oh,
while you do it.
fired via therapist.
There you go.
All right.
Gotta fix this.
We're connecting to the server. What up, guys? Hey, L. Sorry I'm late.
Hey man, how's it going?
Yeah, today kind of sucked, but I'm hanging in there. Got to see my family, so that was good. But more importantly, we've got streaming to do. Let's see.
I think does this fix the echo, everybody?
Yeah, we can't hear.
You want-
I don't
Al,
hear
you
the
wanna
echo
talk?
anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think
that
we should be
better?
good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think so.
I had the buffer messed up, I think.
I'll try Poison Ivy.
Cool. All right.
Oh, you're pitting women against each other. I see.
Yes.
Oh wow.
It's the did you see like all of these people going? Rosa McGowan was pointing out that like actually Meryl Streep wearing all black at the Golden Globes doesn't mean a fucking thing, and like everyone's just dragging Rose. How dare you go after Meryl? How dare you go after Meryl? And it's like she was Harvey Weinstein's like #1 champion actually. So go the fuck after Meryl. Fuck her. I'm all for what Rose McGowan is doing right now.
Well, I'm sorry you got fired today.
Yeah, I did get fired today. I got fired via therapist because the guy was telling me that he had to talk to his therapist before he would give me any severance. And he told me that the therapist told him that he needed to establish a boundary with me and not pay me. So
So that's not just a skit from Arrested Development or Curb Your
No.
Enthusiasm. That's how people in Hollywood actually are.
No, they're pieces of shit. They really are. This is a guy who has been paying me for the last 6 months or so to transcribe hundreds and hundreds of letters and poems
That he wrote to himself.
that he wrote to himself, letters too. And I would work way beyond the hours he would set for me, and then he would try to get me to do more shit, like help him like program like a garage door opener, like all this basic shit that he like couldn't do. And once I like started to try to establish some boundary to get paid a little more for this, he started talking about cutting me off, and then he fired me a couple months ago, then unfired me, and then I went over yesterday because I get paid on the 15th, and when he first hired me, he paid me for the month in advance as we discussed, but then he turned that into actually every month is the month in advance now. And so even though you've been working for me for a month, I already paid you for that month. Therefore, there is no severance, nor is there, like, any of the extra hours that I did getting paid for. And since this is all, of course, under the table, like, there's none of this is, like, official legal work, there's nothing I can really do.
Yeah, that is some Hollywood-ass shit, Tom
Yeah.
Servo. That is very...
It's very Hollywood as shit.
the
I also
whole assistant thing in general is just kind of
Well,
weird
it's not.
in
It
Hollywood.
wasn't my job. Wasn't to be an assistant. It was editing and transcribing, and then he like just tried to make it an assistant job.
Right.
And that's not what he hired me to do. I also did my own Me Too thing where I like reached out a couple days ago to like an actor who had like done some really fucked up stuff to me. He had given me some work in exchange for trying to like fuck me, and like he took his dick out at a hotel and did all this stuff, and I like wrote him this thing basically being like, look, what you did to me really traumatized me because I, like, grew up worshipping you. And he just wrote back, go fuck yourself. So...
What?
Yeah, so, this is a broken city. But don't worry, Disney Fox will make it better. Yeah, sorry, I'm not in the best fucking mood. But, it's been kind of a rough week, and I'm glad to be here.
Oh,
Really-
press R1, L1.
Oh, L1, got it. It's not working.
For what?
Press square, then press L1.
Got it. There we go.
There we go.
What do you do today? Besides game, do you do anything fun?
Not really. I just planned the wedding, did like wedding
It's
stuff.
exciting though.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's good stuff. I have to go up to the like venue tomorrow.
Marga's coming, right?
Oh, great.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
good.
yeah. I have to. I realized I need to respond to one of the RSVP follow-ups. I think I missed one.
You disappoint me, Selena. There's no pleasing some people. Or trusting them.
Here we go.
Yeah, we were talking a lot about Star Wars. Of course, did you see the film?
I still haven't seen it yet because
God.
everything I've read makes me upset. But my girlfriend liked it, but she doesn't like Star Wars, which is like my theory that like
Right. It's
this
for
is
people
a
who don't
movie
like Star Wars.
This is a movie for people that don't like Star Wars.
Yeah, it's finally like time for
And that's why the critics are happy because they they love Disney and they fucking hate Star Wars.
people who
So-
do like Star Wars have had enough Star Wars movies. It's time for people who don't like Star Wars
Yeah,
to
it's-
have some Star Wars movies for them.
Yeah,
okay?
it's time that a generation of Star Wars haters gets a Star Wars of their own.
It's time that
because we're gonna get the money from the people who love Star Wars anyway. So go.
they
fuck
have
yourself.
to see it. They have a mental disorder.
Yes.
Which makes it so that they have to see the film. So
You have
we
no
don't have to worry
control.
about them.
None. All right, here we go.
Red Letter Media was right, except in their criticism of the prequels.
They show them the prequels a lot, right? I actually haven't watched their review yet. Was it any good?
I didn't watch their review of Last Jedi yet, but I mean, their 70-minute prequels thing is, a seminal work, I guess you would have to say.
It really is. That's sort of, I guess, how they started, right? With their
Yeah,
fucking
that was
4-hour-long
an
prequel
internet-changing endeavor. Star Wars is dead, my friend.
Yeah, no, I mean it's kind of like the
Star
nice
Wars
thing
is
about
dead.
it. The nice thing about it being dead is, well, first of all, that we were right, Like we got
Yes.
the prediction, so that feels good. Being right feels good. Always feels good. But
That's the best part about this movie being shameful and terrible. Yeah, Star Wars is dead. Long live Star Wars, and that is the right thing to say. Zebit R. Long live the EU. Long live
Yes.
Mara Jade. Thrawn. Long
It's
live
real.
Darth Revan.
All of it.
That's what. Yeah, it's real. All of it. The Han Solo, Darth Revan, Mara Jade. It's real. All of it.
No, wait till you get to the Exile. And fucking Kira.
are we doing a rematch or new fighters?
Let's do new fighters. Keep it fresh.
Cool. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I've been surviving edged weapons expanded universe. Gotta have my Batman. That's right. That's a great strip that Evan Dorkin gotta have my Batman. A real that comic is like a page out of the what was like the book.
Harley Quinn.
Yeah, well, whatever. Oh, out of the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders. That Evan Dorkin comic is like.
Let me lower this. Sorry.
Yeah, for sure, Pathogen. Everyone has yes. Everyone in the new Star Wars movies has seen Star Wars. The new Star Wars movies take place in a pocket universe that's about 60 miles wide and contains
Just a couple of ships.
maybe 40 humans and maybe like 7 aliens in it.
Yeah, so like,
and
what's
4
the deal?
ships.
Are there like humanoid aliens in the new one? That's what I haven't heard anything about like any humanoid aliens, which is kind of like there's no Kit Fisto type.
Not really. Not a lot of like blue-faced men or anything. Not really. There are some Pokemon who live on the
Casino
the new
planet.
Hoth,
Yeah.
the Hoth planet. There's like little like Eevees on it. Which I mean, look, I'm an Eevee fan. I like Pokemon a lot. So
I do like Pokemon. I like
you know,
Eevees.
they look like Vulpix to me or something.
So were the Porgs everywhere?
Yeah, Porgs are everywhere, and also
Does Chewie eat one?
Chewie has a like very cartoonish looking like roasted porg on a stick and
Oh.
he decides not to eat it because another porg like makes whimpering noises at him and it's like
So he's not like he doesn't like
super long scene.
I thought he just like ate one raw, like just.
Yeah, he
No.
doesn't just eat.
He's
grab
like
one
sitting
and
at
eat
a
it.
fire
It's like
with
already
like,
roasted.
like
That's
a
kinda
roasted porg on a stick. And again, it looks like a dog toy. It's like
It doesn't
like
actually look like a
browned
dead
and- Yeah,
porg.
no, it's like so cartoonish.
I don't know. That's disappointing. Like I figured, like I thought he was gonna like just rip one to shreds.
No, it's like, and then like we stay on a porg for like 90 seconds, like making sad eyes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a rough time. It's a rough time out there to be a Star Wars fan. I will say though that I am still the Star Wars fan. Like I can't deny that. Like I went out opening night, I was like stoked to. And especially after I had seen everything that we had, all the like early leaked footage and everything, I was like, this is going to be awful, and I can't wait. I cannot wait to see this piece of shit. Like I'm gonna start like being one of these people that like waits in line like for like a week because I'm so excited to see like the degradation that Disney will bring to the Star Wars universe.
That dog attack that Harley does, that's fucking brutal. I mean, they definitely took that from Django or something. That's... Oof. What do we got?
Well, I can't go too late tonight because
No. I know. I'm here on the tail end. I get it. Like, I don't know how much longer you want to...
Well, it's been kind of a relaxed stream today.
That's good.
Just playing some fighting games, talking about Star Wars.
That's it. That's all you got to do
What a
today.
Saturday night.
Yeah.
There's nothing else to talk. What happened this weekend? Nothing.
I mean, Star Wars came out.
Yeah, like that's the week is for the bad shit. I've got to go tonight. My friend is I had another friend loses his job and he's just saying fuck it and he's moving back to Florida, so I'm gonna like meet him for like a couple friends for like a goodbye drink.
That's nice.
Yeah, and a lot of people are leaving. It's bumming me out. I mean, like a lot of my friends are just going.
Really?
Yeah.
It's so expensive here. I think that's going to start happening. I think I'm surprised it's not happening a lot more in New York already.
Well, it's
with people
weird. It's
just
just
like
there's this
mass
constant
leaving.
yeah.
Because everybody who lives in New York already has rich parents. That's what.
I mean, that's the
Yeah.
thing. Is like, yeah, I guess that
Or
is
they
like.
just have some sort of like lucky situation. Or I mean, LA and New York aren't that different in that way. But I mean, that's if I end up, leaving LA, which is a distinct possibility next year, although I prefer not to. There's gonna be, like there will. It's happened very my neighborhood has sort of gone through now a triple gentrification, and so.
Now we're making the black guys fight each other.
Yeah, it's important. If you don't have equal opportunity, I like the God, Cyborg. He is. I mean, I don't know if you ended up seeing Justice League yet, El. I know that in protest of the Whedon cut, but Cyborg is the best part by far.
Yeah, and we didn't cut out
all of his shit.
A ton more scenes of him that we've seen clips of.
Well, yeah.
Kind of racist of Whedon to do that, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, well, yeah, but you had to have more CGI upper lip suits.
Good God.
I actually saw that scene. That scene's online for a Korean cell phone company. They posted that the full first 3 minutes of the movie. It wasn't necessary, and he could have had a beard in it. Who says that? Who says Superman can't have a beard sometimes?
Yeah, honestly, half the movie was him being, revived after, dying in the last one.
That's what it's about.
Which was handled terribly, by the way. Wasn't done like Death of Superman or whatever. But
okay, that was terrible too. Let's be fair.
Well,
Death of Superman. It's not as great as people remember.
No, Death of Superman is Death and Return of Superman is cool.
It was okay.
Hey, you want to go?
You don't like Return of Superman?
He runs around heaven with Paul Kent.
Okay, that's a little silly, I have to admit. But I will say that, you're right, that, he's back from the dead. He could have had a beard. He had long hair when he came back. They I don't know why they made that solution. It's just that executives think legitimately that effects are, undetectable. I think that they don't think, they're not good at watching movies. So for them, it doesn't look like it's a special effect. For everybody else in the whole world, obviously, Superman's lip looked like a hologram.
Mm.
Okay. I have Atrocitus in this? That's crazy.
Yeah. He's our guy. What's going on in the chat room? Let me load it up, say hi to some people. See what's going on. We got...
Yeah, the lip is so funny. I can't even believe it.
The lip is...
Turn that down.
Yeah. Oh, whoops.
No, it's not Jared Leo's Joker, but it is a projection of Harley's version of an idolized Joker. So he's a little bit more hipster.
We both knew it'd come to this. It was only a matter of time.
He's like cool Joker.
I'll try to make it.
I hope that Kevin Conroy is just one day considered the best of the Batmans. Because, I mean, same with Hamill. Their Joker and their Batman is just better than pretty much every live-action performance.
Yeah, that's true.
It's almost as if they're cartoon characters.
Yeah.
And, they look less good in real life than they
best.
do in pretend.
Yeah. Of course, Ben Affleck's Batman is extremely good.
It's good.
Dude,
It's good.
But dude, come on! One thing I will say, if you see the Justice League, is his performance. Whedon is such a bad director that Affleck is just Tony Stark in the Whedon scenes, and then in the Snyder scenes, he's back to being BVS Batman. It's very weird. He's two different Bruce Waynes.
Too cutesy. He's too. Oh, God.
Oh yeah, him and the scene where him and Alfred are on the plane, just constantly just joking.
There's a scene.
Just Quip City.
There's a scene when Superman, where Superman is like, "I thought you don't like me" or something like that, and Batman's like, "I don't not like you."
Oh, come on!
Yeah.
You tried to kill him.
Speaking of which.
Oh, but see, that was a waste because you're only taking
Yeah.
10 points of damage. Gotta save those up.
Not me. It's better the way I do it.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's a trophy. Why not? Oh.
Oh,
There we go. All right.
Whoa, is that a reversal?
Yeah,
No,
did.
he I hit it. I guess I was late.
The X-ray moves are fun as hell. Like, that's the best thing that Mortal Kombat has ever introduced, and I'm glad they put it in the Injustice games.
There we go. Yeah, Michael Keaton is a good Batman.
No, he's great. I love him.
I think everybody needs to watch Batman, Tim Burton's Batman again, the first one.
Yeah, has it not aged as well as people remember?
No, and like is literally like people. I remember people saying this at the time. Like it's just another Tim Burton movie where he, you know, just has some weirdo that nobody likes running around for no reason, being weird. And it's true because Batman is really bad at fighting. Like even fighting in the Tim Burton movies, like he fails all the time.
Oh, that's interesting. I never even thought about the fact that like Edward Scissorhands and the Burton Batman could even be
Similar.
Yeah, I mean, I should watch it again and see if, like how different Keaton is from, say, like Johnny Depp in one of those kooky roles.
I think Batman doesn't hold up as well as you will remember it, but I think Batman Returns
With
actually
DeVito?
usually holds up a little like better than you
Do you
remember.
think it's because of DeVito? Because he's so fucking talented?
It's just like weirder. It's like got weirder like setup, like I don't know, set pieces and things like that.
It's probably a more fun movie.
That's true.
A lot
Luffa
of-
was saying, yeah, it's like feels more like a Burton movie. Like it's like a big like scary circus or something.
There's literally a big scary circus in it.
Yeah. They should call
See, I didn't
Tim
like
Burton. Go ahead.
I didn't like what they did with Deadshot in this game because they basically took out Deathstroke and put Deadshot in, but then they made Deathshot like one of the really stiff characters who can't fight.
How does Green Lantern work in this game?
His powers are a little bit not quite representative of,
Feels
of
weird.
all he can do.
Like doesn't it feel like I should be like shooting a big fist at you and shit? I don't know.
Like you can put up a brick wall, you can grab me and throw me around, and here comes the big fist.
Okay, this is good stuff.
I love.
Or he makes
So
a
wait,
mecha.
what comic is this suit from? 'Cause it's
Well,
so
this is
cool.
way more Kyle Rayner type.
Yeah,
Green
this is
Lantern
definitely
usage.
Kyle Rayner.
Because Kyle Rayner's like a manga fan and stuff, so he would like do like big Japanese robots and stuff.
Right, because the ring can let you just create anything you want, right?
Yeah, anything you can imagine. He was an artist, so obviously he got the ring after Hal went crazy after the destruction of Coast City that took place at the end of the Return of Superman.
Now,
Yes.
is Hal going crazy in Coast City? Does that lead directly to the Sinestro Corps stuff? Where,
I mean,
or
like
the
not
Parallax?
like timeline, not time wise. Like
Right.
it happened like in the '90s, and but yeah, like Jeff Johns sort of strip mined that bit of DC history, and yeah, it does lead directly to Sinestro Corps Wars, in the sense that Jeff Johns like recontextualizes the whole thing and changes what Parallax is in the beginning.
Yeah, I
Jeff Johns.
actually think Parallax being like a demon that infested Hal, it really weakens what happened.
It really does. Like, and also like, well, whatever. Like, Jeff Johns. I don't know about Jeff Johns.
Oh, speaking of folks, patreon.com/struggle session
Yes.
to subscribe, but make sure to subscribe because we got a really good episode coming up, probably Monday, where we have where the
doing a
good folks
debate.
at Oxford University
Very cool of
hosted
them.
us.
They invited us. To
We
speak
flew
and
all
debate.
over. Yeah, we debated Marvel versus DC. It was me and Jack for DC, of course, and JDB and Gabe Pacheco of the Katie Halper Show. Very
Yes.
funny guy.
on the Marvel side, and it was a really lively debate. And we're gonna have you you're gonna listen to it and then vote. Don't vote before, because we don't want DC to win on the land side.
You have to give these
obviously.
guys a chance. You have to give them a
Give 'em a
chance.
chance.
I have to, and I assure you that when you do give them a chance, you're gonna still vote DC at the end of this thing.
Any defense, JDB?
I think the episode will speak for itself. And I must say, Gabe and I did a pretty splendid job
Yeah, you
of
did.
backing our shit up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did a splendid job of kissing the moderator's ass.
Piers is a good dude, you know?
Oh my god.
Look, nobody would replace Larry King live unless they were a good person. This is a man who
That's
hosted
true.
a CNN show for years.
I'm just so glad we have Don Lemon there now.
Again, we have two POC fighting against each other. Shameful.
Wait,
Does the
we're
Blue
talking
Beetle? Does,
Piers Morgan is not a POC.
no, I mean Blue
I know.
Beetle and
Well,
Cyborg.
I know. So this is Jaime Escalante,
Piers Morgan is a
right?
POS.
He is a POS.
Yeah.
He's a dog shit human. You think he gets his talking points like delivered directly from like Rupert Murdoch? Like he just opens up his screen and he's like, "Oh hey," and he's this like shriveled old fuck going, "You need to go and you need to talk about this, and you need to talk about this, and you need to talk about this," and he's sort of and then he just like walks away or shits in a bucket or whatever Murdoch does.
He probably just gets the notes directly when he's like sucking the grime from like the
office
from his personal toilet.
Ugh. How do these people sleep at night?
I like it's very cool that Rupert is going to be the largest shareholder in New
Disney.
Yeah.
So not only did they sell, it's very funny because like they're like, oh well, Rupert Murdoch, yeah, he's selling Fox, but he's buying Disney.
Yeah, really. Like he's selling Fox by getting to take money from everything that Disney makes from now until forever.
And controlling like what that is.
I'm actually stoked that like now I can. Now whenever people like Star Wars, I'm like, well, unfortunately, you're supporting Rupert Murdoch.
Well, not only that, but like I think it's gonna be weird when Frozen 2 comes
on!
out. When Frozen 2.
Oh. Sorry.
No, you ruined my fuck. No, I said Frozen 2 when it comes out with an official audio commentary by Stefan Molyneux. It's gonna be really weird. Sean Hannity pop-up video. Like, what's gonna happen? Like the long-term repercussions of like all of this children's entertainment, which has spent the last 20 years or so like pushing a lot of like really kind of milquetoast liberal pablum. Like, what happens when
all that gets weaponized
by
for Rupert Murdoch?
Yeah, because he's still going to own Fox News, and Fox News will now be worth like $50 billion more.
Yeah, Fox News
this
is going
does
to be
not
like,
actually benefit Disney.
Yeah,
like
Fox
it's
is
kind of nuts.
Fox News is going to be like promoting Disney shit.
Yeah,
because it'll make Rupert.
And
money.
they're not the same company, as if that makes a fucking difference. Like, well, they're different companies, so there's no conflict of interest. As if like our entire media landscape isn't just like four guys who know each other. Like lobbing each other,
and who also all know Trump personally,
and all know
and
Trump
knew him before he became president.
Hung out with them. I mean, Iger, I think, is like really one of the most reprehensible characters of this story too, because Iger is like the happiest CEO on earth. I take care of myself. I take care of people. I'm a job creator. It's like, go fuck yourself, Bob. You're gonna be responsible for 10,000 jobs being lost, and you don't get to be president anymore. Wah. This is his consolation prize. He wanted to be the president. His plan was to retire in 2019 and then run in 2020 as a Democrat. Or possibly a business-minded Republican. It's not really clear. But both parties have been sort of trying to win Iger over. And, well, that's not going to happen because of Trump. So, like, the interesting thing about the Trump presidency is, like, how many billionaires' feelings are hurt that they're not, like, the ultimate supreme leader. Like, these people genuinely feel like that guy? Like, they're not appalled that Trump is like a billionaire rapist scumbag. They're appalled because he's lesser than them.
He's
so much less than them.
He's like a loser rapist billionaire.
Right,
like,
they don't even give a shit. Oh, the booyah. So good. They don't even, like, give a shit that he is like all of these awful things and all of the.
Because he's all of them. He just says
just
cuss words.
He's all of them with cuss words and like probably smells way worse. Probably showers less.
Although I'll tell you what, I've met some rich people, and they have like weird hygiene and shit. Like I've met like some like billionaire. I met a billionaire.
Yeah,
that's crazy that I've met a billionaire.
I know.
Actually,
you probably had a couple now.
I don't know. Actually, I know. I mean, I don't know if I met any other billionaires, but I met like billionaire. This guy Jeff Skoll, who runs like participant media.
Oh yeah. He smells.
Yeah, his like breath stinks like shit, and his teeth are fucked up.
And nobody tells him that. And
it's hair is like all greasy and matted, and I'm like,
what do you do with all that fucking money if you're not even like?
I mean, like,
couldn't you have like a dentist like literally like pull like he could operate on you in your house?
I mean, like, but I think
we're
these
just
guys
gonna
are
bring
just,
it all over.
I think these are just like weird internet guys. Like he's just like some like. All the PayPal guys are just like Bitcoin guys from like 30 years ago.
Even Elon Musk is just some fucking PayPal weirdo.
Yeah, he's just a PayPal guy. Like Elon Musk. Oh, dude. I don't know if I should say this on the thing, but like some guy I know told me that he knows Elon Musk's cocaine and ketamine dealer.
Oh, that's so funny.
So this guy who's like our like main genius of our time
is just some
is like a like cokehead like Rick and Morty fan.
Yeah. Well, that's what's crazy is that he's always like Elon Musk is always posting like screenshots of himself watching like Rick and Morty or like Nathan for You and stuff like that, and it's like he also like is going through like while he's doing that like 10 people are being like laid off. Like, right. As he, like, is posting wacky memes, like, people are being sent to the fucking breadline. And his way of responding to that, because he shut down multiple attempts to unionize Tesla, is, like, he built a fucking froyo machine, as if, like, that's gonna do it. Well, you know, we're not gonna get you basic medical or labor protections, but here's you can get a chocolate vanilla swirl.
Whenever you like.
Fuck you, I'm Elon
Check
Musk.
out the hammock. Check out the Tesla hammocks. We now have a hammock lounge.
I don't get it, man. Like, I just don't get how, like, are people that dumb that, like, well, they have massage chairs, so I don't care if I've been here for 3 days straight.
I don't think that people are that dumb. I just think that, like, our generation came of age, like, during the financial crisis.
Right.
And all the paychecks got reset at that time, and they never brought them back
to where they should have been.
Like,
and we're too young to know better.
We were told, like, I never knew that, like, you're supposed to get health coverage and shit. I'm like, what? Like, they pay for your health care, too? Like, wow. Like, I don't, like, we were conditioned to never expect any more because of, like, this like time of austerity,
right? Yeah, after the crash, and then like you know that's part of what was so frustrating about like Hillary going, oh, they're just sick of being baristas. It's like, yeah, because your husband signed a telecommunications act that consolidated the media from 40 companies to 5. So yeah. There's a whole lot of baristas who could be doing way more with their lives instead of working for your buddy Howard Schultz.
That is true, Pinback. I agree with that too. That like rich guys like have this weird like work ethic fetish, and I think a lot of it does come from that. Like, I think that there's a lot of guilt in being rich.
Of course,
like, I think when you're rich, like you're like, well, I have to work. Like you should feel guilty. But a lot of people get over that guilt by being like, well, I work.
Well, you know, and that's the funny thing is that my so the guy who I lost my job today. You know, he gets a pension, he gets health care, and he gets residuals and royalties from our union. And so he told me, I have never gotten a severance package in my life. I have never gotten a severance from being fired in my life, and I've got to take care of me. Sorry. And he, just bought a $2 million house. Now, what he doesn't realize is that check he gets every few months from SAG-AFTRA, that makes sure, that's what severance is, dummy. Like, you are getting severance. You just don't know because you call them royalties. And so, like, it's so weird how the cult of professionalism is used as a way to warp people into thinking that they're not, like, being fucking greedy scum suckers. And, it helps them sleep better because they're like, well, if we change this word to mean this other thing, then that word doesn't mean that thing anymore. And therefore, it is all meaningless and just words.
Yeah.
And they don't give a fuck.
But the funny thing with this, like, fetishizing of hard work that, like, especially rich people have is, like, they don't need to work that much. Like, rich people, like, the fact is that the system is just fixed and they'd have money coming in either way. They just, like, they work as, like,
because
a fake
they're scared
show.
of being
like,
bored.
They, like, work as a show to show everyone that they're, like, working the hardest. But like the money's just going to keep flowing in either way. And then, of course, that filters down. They're like, well, I work so hard, so I expect everyone that works for me to work this
just as hard
well.
as I do. But the problem is those people usually work harder. In fact, they go above and beyond, and they don't make a thing about it.
Right.
Like for my job, I was working way past the hours he was giving me because I wanted to prove to the dude that I gave a shit and I really cared about what he was trying to do. And he didn't even give a shit. So it's like, if he doesn't give a shit about his own work that he's paying for me to do, why the fuck should I give a shit? And it's like, well, that's the last time I'm gonna ever do more than like my allotted hours. I don't care about your project. In fact, I hope it fucking fails. It's like, don't you care about the project? No, I care about food. I care about food and sleeping in a bed. And anything else is that's, Los Angeles, I think even more so than New York, uses the exposure myth.
Yeah, well, and there's also this sort of, especially within entertainment, the like paying your dues.
Yeah,
thing,
well, you just got to pay your dues.
which is like that's
Wait,
only
y'all say that? Wait, actor, they say that in Hollywood?
All the time. Constantly.
Oh, because that's like a scam, like a pro wrestling scam, right? That's literally like a carny pro wrestling thing where young wrestlers have to work for free, set up the ring.
Comedians do it. Yeah.
That's like
it's the common, paying your dues is something that actors are told to do, comedians are told to do, writers are told to do, and musicians are told to do. And in LA, it's fetishized.
I didn't know that.
It's all built. It's like the whole industry is built on paying your dues.
Fetishized.
And the only person that ever has benefited from paying your dues is the person who's telling you to pay your dues.
Yeah, for them.
It's always like what you got to do is pay your dues by letting me like make all the money on this one. Like you can do it later.
This is part. And another one I love hearing is, you're in your 20s. You're supposed to be poor. That's what being in your 20s is all about.
Because you set it up that way.
Yeah.
Because you told me how much I'm getting paid. It is really, like the paying your dues of this industry is pretty disgusting.
And it's like 10 years later, well, you still got to pay your dues. Maybe you haven't paid your dues hard enough.
Like, maybe if you paid a few more dues.
Maybe you just pay a few more. And I do pay dues because I'm in a fucking union. So it's fucking, like, what are you even talking about when you're telling people to pay their dues? They're paying dues.
It's really bizarre. It's all these older guys, too. It's like these older guys start companies, these new media companies, like Funny or Die and all these places, and they like sort of have this idea that they're like, well, I'm doing this to like give exposure and like give young people a platform, and I'm like, that's a really honorable and nice thing to do. You can also pay them while you do it. Like it's possible to like structure this business in such a way that these people that you're giving a big leg up to,
I don't know if it
also can afford their fucking apartment. Like,
see, and that's my question is, you said that it can be done, and my question is, can it in our current environment? I'm not sure. I think if everyone...
What do you mean in our current environment?
I think with the digital media crash, I think all these people are realizing if we start paying people what we actually have to pay them, we'll be out of business tomorrow.
Well, I think that what we're seeing happen is that... I think what we're seeing happen is that they're going out of business even paying people like shit.
Right, yeah,
so
BuzzFeed just cut like fucking like a few hundred people.
Yeah.
ESPN,
I think
129.
To my mind, and I've talked to like unions about this stuff, but like... It's all about the allocation of assets. I think that all these companies could be restructured to like pay people fairly and still stay afloat. The big question is whether they can like wean themselves off of needing to make such insane profits.
Right.
Like you maybe just don't make as big of profits, but then you're running a company
maybe
ethically.
Jonah Peretti can take a pay cut.
Yeah, exactly. Like maybe Jonah Peretti doesn't need
fucking people.
I'm sure Jonah Peretti takes some private jets every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like maybe that like is a year's salary for somebody. You know what I mean? Like fly coach, and then maybe one more person gets like a reasonably paying job.
People get hooked on the comforts of extreme capital.
And also like
they're
that's
addicts.
part of it's the addiction. Like that is the thing, is that like they're workaholic is not an unfair term.
People who are workaholics they're doing two things. One is that they are required.
Yeah.
Like if they do not, they lose their job.
But I think I'm talking more about like professional alcoholics.
No,
like,
that comes from
that's the addiction, is like the addiction of like being an important person, and
Yes.
a big part of that is like the fact that you're worth so much to spend just on a flight. Like that's like part of the like weird fetishy appeal to it. Like it's like this,
and the obsession with decorum.
Yeah.
And the obsession with paying your dues, decorum. One thing I love to hear is nobody owes you anything. That's my favorite. Okay, then
Yeah,
like
and the people who employ you to do work, like, very literally owe you things.
Yeah. Well, then if nobody owes us anything, then why do we owe them anything? It's like, it's such a nihilistic...
Yeah.
I just don't even understand how, like, we've gotten... Like, did you know, and I used to just blame the boomers, but the Xers love this shit, too. And even some older millennials. They've all swallowed this up whole, and, like, so... Every time I hear, well, like, just wait for the boomers to die and it's all gonna get better, I'm like, nope. That's not what's gonna happen, because right now there's a bunch of 8-year-olds who are watching, like, YouTube videos of, like, just, fucking girls reading SEO terms. And we've got, like, you know, we've got, like, how many fucking 17-year-old white kids are, like, watching, like, PragerU right now and going, well, I'm gonna go to college and I'm gonna stick it up. Like, I was at a party and, like, it was all, like, liberal to lefty people, and this dude was like, I hate SJWs, and I'm like, man, that is so 2014 to hate SJWs, because it's like, that's not, whatever, you know, the people who are writing about how, like, Seinfeld is racist, and if you don't like Star Wars, you're a bad person, are not the same fucking people protesting against police brutality.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I just, it's like, we've now hit a point where it's like, complaining about culture wars is so cartoonish, because, like, you're still really annoyed that, you know, about like this one obnoxious thing when, like, there's literally California's on fire. I do hope that that there's some kind of moment in the next few months. And actually, Star Wars flopping is exciting for me in that way, because it does, or not flopping, it's making
flopping.
a shitload of money.
I
It's
know.
making less than The Force Awakens. but
Which
it's-
is interesting.
Which is not a surprise, though, because Force Awakens was the first Star Wars movie in, like, 10 years, besides
I know,
Clone
yeah.
Wars. Clone Wars was... Here, grab controller.
Clone Wars, the movie was very bad. The cartoon does get good, but the movie with, like, the little teenage Jabba the Hutt, it's not that good. His name's like Zeppo the Hutt or something. I can't remember. God, we'll probably have to call it pretty soon.
Yeah.
You're getting tired,
You
aren't
must
you,
be getting
Leslie?
Yeah.
tired. Yeah. Sorry I was, again, super late. I just have been...
It's fine. I mean, you
a
had
lot
to
of
have
shit
dinner.
going on. Yeah. And then, it's a weird day.
It's a weird day. It's a weird day. Well, I'm sorry you got fired, but
it's all good. It's,
you know, it did make for a good rant here. So
yeah,
in some
well,
ways,
like, that's the thing. Is
you
like
can look
I
on the
want,
bright side.
I want people to, like, not feel bad when they get fired.
I mean, I love, like, you know, it's just too bad that
If you
you have
could
to earn money and stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, it's so awesome to not
It's
working.
It's great
is
not
awesome.
working.
Like,
So that's great. But also, just, like, I want people to... Part of the stigma of being unemployed is, like, we are trained to feel like fucking losers.
I am, like, over that. I'm over the feeling of, like, needing to define yourself by what you're doing in your career. And I do think that there is power in being like, I don't want to work. Like, you know, like, opting out of the Hollywood system especially is very nice.
I think, like, the Disney Fox thing makes me, like, kind of never want to do anything Hollywood
It's
again.
definitely weird. Like, it's getting to the point for me where I'm like, you're just gonna like, I worked for Disney, like, and it's not like anything that, like, it wasn't like because of Disney that I quit the Kimmel show, but it's like I did work for Disney, and I'm like, am I just gonna, like, get forced to have to do it again? Like,
Right.
is there gonna just eventually be no option? I'm
Well,
gonna be like, well, I guess,
there's
like,
gonna be Disney.
like, my dad worked for Disney and he hated Disney. Like, I worked for Disney and I hate Disney. And, like, is it just going to be that you have to work with this company?
Well, that's the thing. If Los Angeles becomes a company town,
yeah, that's crazy.
that doesn't even shoot here.
Yeah,
What is this place? What is Los Angeles? They don't film movies here. They film Netflix pilots, not shows. They go to Vancouver for the rest of the show.
like commercials for web stuff.
They film commercials, they film web series, and, like, there's the CBS lot where, like, you can head to, like, a studio taping of The Big Bang Theory. What the fuck is this city? Like, what is its purpose? Why are there millions of people here? Why are there thousands and thousands of acting classes? Like, what is... There's nothing left! And it's freaking me out. This feels like the end... Like, this feels like a Detroit moment. Because if Los Angeles becomes a one-company town, and then that company abandons the town, you know what fucking happens to the town? It dies! And Los Angeles, if Disney decides, well... Since we shoot everything at Pinewood or North Carolina anyway, we bought the Fox lot. Why are we here?
I guess
we could just leave, and no one would be able to stop us.
I mean, this is like alarming. This is alarming stuff that you're talking about. I guess the only thing that I would say in counter is that if Los Angeles turned into Detroit, I would love that, and that would be fucking amazing for me. Like if nobody was here and there was no traffic and shit, and everything was ruined, I would be like stoked. So, like, that'd be. I would like get. I would get to buy a house. Like it'd be cool.
We just drive to Bel Air and just pick out one of these empty mansions built by one of these Saudi sheiks before they fucking bailed.
Like, it would be great if LA became Detroit. I'd be like, oh, thank God, like.
I will take this entire block for myself. It's so fucking sad.
Oh, Pingback says they still film porn in LA.
No,
because they did the condom legislation.
They don't film porn in LA.
They film more porn in Vegas now.
They moved,
a lot of it moved to Vegas.
Yeah.
So they film live podcasts.
They do. They do record live podcasts in LA.
Yeah.
Which is good, because that's what we're doing. So there's the Smod Castle and there's us.
Is the Smod Castle still open? Is that even still like a thing? Kevin's little.
I don't think so. I don't think the Smod Castle is open. I think that he moved all over to Andy Signor's Screen Junkies for the most part.
Wait, Kevin Smith is a Screen Junkies guy now?
Yeah, he was doing Screen Junkies for a while.
It's so fucking weird.
Yeah.
We've got. There's just no. There's so many people that got like mad at me, like when I was starting my acting career, because I would like engage with people on Twitter all the time, and I like doing it, and like people would say, stop doing that, put a wall up, they're just fans, like you're better than them, and I just kept engaging with them, and like I think that elitism isn't gonna work anymore. The idea that like you have to like now the future of media is like you have to personally engage with the people who consume your work, because otherwise like you're just some distant, like,
I guess I would also say, like,
anymore.
why not?
Why
like,
not?
It's so weird. Like, the only reason that people didn't engage before is because, like, it was impossible to. Like, we don't live in a world where you can, like, engage with people.
Right.
Like, now it's like, if you're going to be online and you're going to be a person, like, you got to engage with people.
Well,
like,
and I think part of the reason why people are we're against it for so long is they're like, well, this is only going to make me lose money. And now, like, but the flip side are the people, of course, who are, like, sneaking ads into their tweets. I can't stand that. There are a few comedians I know who are, like, actually doing, like, paid social media, and it's, like, they don't have to disclose it. They just are, like, wearing a shirt with something, and it's, like, it's a very common influencer thing.
Pinback, I agree with you. Like, I don't fault people for not wanting to be public, and I completely agree with that. Like, I think it's a choice to not be on social media. Like,
yeah,
I think it's like if you want to be online, that's being online. Like, some people are gonna be mean to you. Like, you're gonna make some friends, you're gonna make some enemies. It's the internet.
And
you know what I mean? Like,
the shocking thing is that because Facebook and Twitter sold this lie that like putting everybody in the same chat room at the same time wouldn't cause any problems, and it did. And so now they're just they're like just kind of punishing everybody. There's a lot more censorship online. Part of the reason you're seeing so much more censorship, it's not just because they're trying to stop, like, Nazis and MAGA chuds from taking over the internet. They're trying to gentrify and corporatize it. And they won. Like, the internet is, we're on an Amazon service. There's Twitch. There's Facebook. Like, it's over. And so, because the internet is, like, the Wild West.
The internet is TV now. Like, and
it's
literally,
TV.
it's TV from, like, the 60s. There's 4 channels.
Right.
Like, it's
and we're
BBC.
on CBS. Yeah. And that's just how, unfortunately, like, I remember I had a meeting about a year ago with a guy who ran a production company called Primary Wave. His name was David Gilad. He just had to resign because he was accused of rape. But anyway, when I met with him, he got
bye-byed.
Yeah, he got bye-byed. And he was a really creepy guy. But I remember I walk in, the first thing he tells me is, so you're going to be Facebook's bitch, Amazon's bitch, Disney's bitch, or Google's bitch? That was his opening pitch. He was right. I mean, he also molested a ton of actresses, and I'm like, I hope he goes to jail.
Yeah.
There's
maybe a reason why he used that particular metaphor.
Yeah, thanks for the referral, ICM. But it is like we were sort of kind of like born at the worst possible time to join the media, like because we are firmly in this transition period. Whatever's next. If there is anything
I won't get
next,
to be a part of.
Well, maybe. But the thing is that, like, I do think that, like, we will go back to decentralization in the long term. Like, I think that people are going to start to segregate themselves and, like, like go back to anonymous usernames and go back to sort of this as a protection measure. I mean, that's sort of like what a lot of weird Twitter even is, like a Web 1.0 aesthetic.
Never left like the old internet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's kind of what weird Twitter is. A lot of.
Well, I mean, think about like it's kind of interesting if you like go back to like the internet trolling era. Like you had like Aaron Swartz and you had like Weave. And they were like doing the same thing, except one was a leftist and one was a Nazi.
Yeah.
Guess which one ended up getting punished by the Obama administration?
Yeah.
And ended up killing himself. I actually wonder, like, if Aaron Swartz hadn't killed himself, how many less Chuds and like Trump people there would be. Like, because I do think that like when the Obama administration twisted the knife into him for like his JSTOR leaks, that was it. Like that was the death of like the information liberation movement. In terms of like that was their it was supposed to be that he would become like some sort of martyr, and instead it was like a message. Like
Tom Servo. No, I'm another SA goon reporting in.
Oh no!
I think it actually
want to talk to Lotax because everything today came from him.
I mean, I also think that like SA in it's not perfect, but it remains one of the only good sites. I still go on SA for like. I was actually using it as a refuge these last few days to see opinions of people that hated Star Wars.
Oh, were they all bitching about it there?
Not everybody. There are some like unfortunate folks who love it. But there's a lot more bitching than last time. When Force Awakens came out, I remember like one of my saddest moments was I went on Something Awful to like see everyone complaining, and I couldn't find anyone. And it was one of these moments where I was like...
I'm sorry to interrupt the conversation, but we have some breaking news.
Oh, shit.
This is from director James Gunn. We all know and love. He's a very famous celebrity now because he's a director, and all directors, especially new ones, need to be celebrities now. Yes. He wrote this. In my years on social networking, I have never spoken out politically, but we're in a national crisis with an incompetent president forging a full-blown attack on facts and journalism in the style of Hitler and Putin. I'm
not facts.
Losing fans with my choice to speak out.
Not
Hitler.
Facts. Not facts of all things.
James Gunn, what happened to Super and Romeo and Juliet, James Gunn?
You know what's so funny about
what
all
happened
this?
to Slither, James Gunn?
Between Chris
what the fuck does Disney do to these people?
Between Chris Evans and James Gunn, like this just proves to me that like it's part of the Disney media package now says it's okay to stand up to Trump.
Yeah,
like
they're getting permission.
It's fun, and they are told like it's okay to say that it's like you're allowed to lose. Like it's okay if you say it's okay if I lose fans over this. Like they're like following a like media playbook here.
Of course. Yeah, because now that when Disney bought Maker, they finally I think started to understand the YouTube ecosystem, and once they absorbed all those people, I mean, fired half of them, but like the ones they kept around, like probably were like, well, look, like here's the deal, like the most popular people on the internet are Thunderstick 666 and the shoe on head lady who talks about feminists being annoying all the time. Those are the most popular people on the internet. So if we wanted to get our, which is actually, here's my question about that Disney media playbook anti-Trump. If they directly benefit from this merger, Trump's gonna approve the Disney-Fox merger because he's buddies with Rupert Murdoch. But like, remember when Bob Iger left Trump's council a few months ago and like protest of what was he protesting? Do you remember
maybe
which
the
one?
Transgender, maybe
I think
the
it might have been
military?
the transgender military thing, but it might have been something else. Anyway, Bob Iger
could have been Charlottesville or something too.
I think it might have been Charlottesville. What's so baffling is that like, what do you think was actually happening in those meetings, except like besides discussing the Fox Disney merger? Like they went in there and they were like, so we're gonna merge. Fox News is not going to Disney; it's still staying with Roop. You guys want to like drink coffee and I don't know, like watch cartoons? Do you think they were just gaming? Like, what did they do? There's no business to be done. How do you like? Are they just talking for hours about nothing? How's Melania? Good. How's
It's probably like it was probably like exactly like the Access Hollywood tape, but except like Bob Iger is the one
I'm sure
being
he's done
like
some
nice, yeah.
I'm surprised that nobody. I mean, I saw that Murdoch is in trouble for saying that like none of the women, like all the women accusing like O'Reilly are full of shit, and Ailes are full of shit.
Well, what the fuck does Murdoch care? He's not gonna apologize.
Yeah, but what's interesting is that like my point is like it shows the weakness of so many of these social media movements. Like you can't tweet Rupert Murdoch to death. You know?
Yeah, it's true.
You
Rupert
can't.
Murdoch doesn't care.
He doesn't give a fuck.
That is
what-
Pinback. We were talking about that just earlier. Yes, now Rupert Murdoch will be the largest individual shareholder in Disney. He owns Disney. Rupert Murdoch, the Fox guy, gets to own, like, you know, he owns Toy Story and shit.
I didn't know that Condé Nast was owned Earwolf. That's bonkers.
I didn't know that either, actually. That is wild.
That changes.
By the way-
that explains a lot, actually.
By the way, like, none of those things ever pay. Like, mid-roll and all those, like...
They don't pay people.
They just don't pay people. Like, you record all these ads that you, like, work up, like, a big, like, backlog, and then they're like, unfortunately, we can't pay you till, like, next quarter. Like, no one ever gets paid on all these podcasts.
I am-
And it's just, you have to, like, record all these embarrassing, like... You know, Casper mattresses are like the best mattresses that you ever can like have. The saddest thing about that is people don't even get paid for that embarrassing shit.
Well, and that's like the fucked up.
Oh,
I mean, like,
wow. I didn't
the
know
fucked
that.
up thing.
Yeah, they don't. They withhold payment on all that. Like they're not cool.
The entire digital economy, the entire digital media landscape is based off of completely undoing all of the hard work by unions and workers in the entertainment industry for the last 50 fucking years.
It really is. Well, I mean,
everything has been undone in 5 years.
It wasn't
5 years
because
is all.
of the internet, but it's like they figured out, they were like, oh, this is the internet. We could probably, because this isn't regulated yet, just like jump in and like do everything we did at like the start of the studio system. Like we there's no rules on this thing, so we can just fuck everyone over.
In fact, thinking about was Dr. Horrible a scab project?
I wonder actually about
Because
that.
like the writer's strike happened and then they made
Oh,
Dr.
yeah, that's so
Horrible.
funny.
So I'm now.
I mean, like, I can't say for sure. I shouldn't, like, say with any, you know, definitiveness that no one ever gets paid for all this shit. But I know multiple people who are on these things and are supposed to get paid and don't get paid. So that's all I gotta say about that. That's some humiliating shit. Well, we should probably go, right?
Yeah. You guys,
I'm getting kind of tired. I gotta go
rest,
out. I gotta go up in the
You've
morning.
been here a few hours.
But thanks to everyone for hanging around.
Thanks for
Yeah,
sticking
thanks.
around. So when I got here,
Talked about some Star Wars, played some fighting games, you know, talked about the state of you know, the workplace in Hollywood and everywhere in America.
kind of what we do.
Fun stuff.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone for hanging out. Again, if you don't, if you don't know the show,
Session.
Please, yes.
patreon.com/struggle session.
We got an awesome Discord community in between episodes. Good place to hang out. And it's it's non-denominational leftist.
and no moderation either.
No mods.
We
no
don't do any
cops.
mods. So come hang out. It's fun. All right. See you later, everybody.
Good night, folks.
Good times.
All right. Peace.
So I should take like